Welcome. Cowboy fans and cowboy haters alike. I'm the G. What's going on, Kelvin Bryant? Let's talk facts. Janie Scott, what's going on? Man, we got some stuff to talk about today. You know, it's funny, man. Jerry Jones talking all that noise, man. Jerry Jones gangsta on Sunday. I don't know what to call it, but he seems to have went back on something that he said on Sunday. We're going to see what it do in this show. Got a couple other topics to cover. I also want to look at something that Mike Fisher said. Mike Fisher said he believes that Mike McCarthy tanked on Sunday. We're going to look at that for a moment. Zeke signed with the Chargers. We're going to talk about that. Michael Parsons said he has 4 questions for Jerry Jones. We'll see if we can talk about that. And then we're going to take a look at these 30 free agents. Also, I said we were going to look at Mike McCarthy's press conference from yesterday. Well, not from yesterday, but from Sunday postgame. So I think what we'll do is we're going to get it started with the Mike McCarthy postgame so we can really dig into this whole issue about Jerry Jones today. I find this to be very interesting, what is coming down the pipe, and it don't seem to match. It don't seem to match all that bravado Jerry had on Sunday. I've already did a video about that. If you haven't, check it out after the show. I said Jerry dares Mike. And he basically did. I mean, he dared Mike McCarthy to go talk to somebody else. And he sounds different now, though. He sounds a whole lot different now. So, I got a theory. I'm going to read. Mike Fisher said he was going to put online what this could mean. I have my own theory on what this could mean based upon what I reported in my previous video. We're about to get popping. We'll open this thing up with a greeting. And then I'm going to go to DallasCowboys.com. See if we can find the Mike McCarthy post-game show. Again, welcome everybody. Let me go back through here. Lord Nova 95, what's going on? The Queen, what's going on? Jared, what is going on? 49er fans, what's going on? Let me see. And Robert M, what's going on? Whether it be 10 or 100,000, we're going to talk Cowboys today. So I want to go back for a moment. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, this Cowboy, it's always drama. It is always drama. I mean, it is so many things going on. And so, Jerry Jones, after talking big talk on Sunday after the game, and I'm going to let you hear both of these statements, but I want to go through the Mike McCarthy press conference. I hadn't looked at it. Sorry, I normally look at these, but I hadn't looked at it. But I want to look at it because Mike McCarthy has basically been ingratiating himself to the Cowboys. He's been saying he wants to be here, begging the Cowboys. And it's almost like Jerry Jones is playing these games like Mike McCarthy has got to prove himself that he wants to be here. Prove to him that he wants to be here, which is a bunch of junk. But I want to go through, and I'm going to let you hear Mike McCarthy, and then we're going to jump back to Jerry Jones, then we're going to start this discussion. Kevin Howard, what's going on? Andre, what's going on? Dank, what's going on? Victor, what's going on in the crib? Tim, what's going on? Let's pull up this Mike McCarthy interview. Yeah, we're getting right into it. We're going to pull up this Mike McCarthy interview, post-game interview. We're gonna jump right into it. This is about a 10-minute interview. And kind of once we hear what we want to hear, we'll probably stop it because I don't really know where it is. So, for entertainment purposes, let's just listen to Mike McCarthy. His last post game. What's going on Wall Street? Wallace Wall Street Jones. What's going on from North Carolina? Roberto, what's going on? I get to some more greetings in just a moment. Let's check this out real quick.
Coach, you talked before the game about taking it all in. Certainly we saw you when you came into the locker room hugging all your assistant coaches. What's going through your mind right now about your future, your situation?
Well, really, it was going through my mind. It's the end of the year. I mean, this was our last game. So that's really what I was focused on. Just make sure I had the opportunity to see everybody when they came in the locker room.
Did Jerry say anything about the plan going forward at all?
No. We have meetings tomorrow in the morning with the players, but we'll get together here in the near future.
Tim Kalish, Dallas Sporting News. Do you feel like your body of work after 5 years suggests you should be back for another year?
Oh, I've a lot of confidence in myself as a head coach, but I think like anything, body of work, the statistics. I think it's more about the program, the details of what needs to be done, how can we get better. All those things go into these decisions of whether you originally get the job or continue to move forward. So I'm definitely in a position with Jerry to move the program forward. I mean, there's no question about that in my mind. So that's why these conversations need to happen here in the near future.
Do you feel good about the way the team played the last half of the year, including like today when you're going to win with 2 seconds to go?
Yeah, I don't want to take anything for granted because I understand why you're asking the question, but I mean that's the way we're supposed to play. As far as the energy and the commitment. So and that's what the players expect from the coaches, and that's what every coaches expect from the players. So for us to go out there and compete and finish our commitment, that's to me was a given. I felt in some ways that game was a little bit of a microcosm of our season. Just it goes all the way down to the last play. So, a lot of good things happen in the game, for young players, but the little things that we didn't do, was part of the reason why we didn't win the game. So, but I was happy with the fact that some of the guys were able to play that really didn't have much of an opportunity. So, but I was pleased with the way the team competed today.
Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Now that the season's over, this answer may be different. Is your first preference, Mike, to remain as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I have a lot invested here. And the Cowboys have a lot invested in me. And then there's a personal side to all these decisions. So, they all point in the right direction. But, I think anytime you invest your time, energy, your belief, the connection you have, the relationships that are in place here, the understanding of what the organization can do and is willing to do, that those are all positive attributes that, you take into account. But, absolutely. I'm a builder. I believe in building programs. I believe in developing young players. So at the end of the day, it is about winning. And you have to have those components in place to get this thing where it needs to be, and I think we have a very good foundation there.
So you heard Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy says my first preference is to stay here. What's going on, Roman Bird? Freddie, what's going on in the crib? Robert, 31 says something. Robert M says something. And I was just about to say this. This is about leverage. Mike McCarthy is giving up leverage. He needs to be careful in everything that he's saying. See, Dak Prescott, if y'all pay attention to what Dak Prescott was doing in the offseason. Dak Prescott, when they asked him about being here, Dak was very careful to say, yeah, I want to be here. But if it comes to playing somewhere else, I'm ready for that too. You have to keep your leverage. You have to keep your leverage because we may not realize what's going on, but this is a negotiation. I told y'all yesterday, and it's funny, something that Mike McCarthy said. I said this in a video, I think I'm releasing it tonight, about Doug Peterson. Because when I think about the Cowboys season, and even that last game, matter of fact, the last game, like he said, it's a microcosm. It's not a microcosm of the season, y'all. The game against the Commanders is a microcosm of the 5 years of Mike McCarthy. You do good, you do good, you do good. They were leading all the way through pretty much. They're doing good, doing good, doing good. Look like they're going to win, and they lose at the end. Kind of how we do in all of these 12-win seasons. Kind of how we do in big games. Mike McCarthy is dead on. He may not realize it, but even saying that, even that can be used against him because it is a microcosm. It's a microcosm of the season. It's a microcosm of the seasons. It's a microcosm of the tenure. And I'm not going to necessarily blame that all on Mike McCarthy because, I mean, it's kind of been like this with these Cowboys since the Jimmy Johnson thing. And I think a big part of this is how Jerry Jones does things. See, Jerry Jones, I released a video today showing about Jerry Jones daring Mike McCarthy to go talk to the Bears. But with the news that has come down now, I want you to hear Jerry Jones. I want you to hear Jerry Jones. I'm going to let you hear what Jerry Jones said after his postgame. And it's so funny. Jerry is a shrewd, but man, when I tell y'all Jerry Jones is a shrewd operator, I don't think I can tell you enough how much of a shrewd operator he is. So, y'all put this in your mind. Mike McCarthy just told the press that his first preference is to be in Dallas. He wants to be here. He wants to be a Dallas Cowboy. Mike, I'm sorry. I knew this before they even asked you the question. And anybody who's asking you that question, I mean, they're just asking you that question just to hear you say it out loud. Everybody know Mike McCarthy wants to still be in Dallas. And let's not knock Mike McCarthy down too much because I'm going to tell you one thing about Mike McCarthy that I do love is I like the part of him that the people like. I like the part of him that the team likes. See, I think the team likes the father figure part of Mike McCarthy. They like the sympathetic, empathetic, compassionate part of Mike McCarthy. The man part of Mike McCarthy, the human being, good man part of Mike McCarthy. That's the part the team likes. They like that part. You don't get a lot of people like that. Unfortunately. And I hate to say it like this, but unfortunately, very few of those guys actually win. Very few of them win. You have to learn how to be as soft as a dove and wise as a snake. This type of behavior, it's a good trait. But you have to understand, football is a gladiator sport. It's actually the new gladiator sport. It is. And you better believe, man, it's cutthroat. It is cutthroat. And this is why I don't agree with people when the players get paid too much, man. You better make all the money you can. Coaches, they get paid. No. You better make all the money you can. Folk who talk like that because they can't do it. You do not devalue yourself. Don't devalue yourself because you do something well. Well, do you realize why people want your services? Because what you do well, other folk can't do. Do not devalue yourself. You have to learn how to still be, you have to still learn how to be compassionate. Learn how to be loving and learn how to be everything that people need as far as nurturing and encouraging, while at the same time say, but you know what? I told y'all this the other day. I'm going to tell you again. And I tell folks this from the pulpit all the time. You teach folk how to treat you. You teach them how to treat you. There's just certain things you just tell people I'm not putting up with. I don't care how nice I am to you. I'm not putting up with this. And see, Mike McCarthy is that real nice guy. That's the part they like about him. But the part they're missing, because I don't think this is necessarily in Mike's nature, the part that draws the line on anyone who tries to impede his person. That's the part that he's missing. That's the part that he doesn't see. That's the part of where he can't push the team over the top. He can't push the team over the top. See, Jimmy Johnson was the opposite. Jimmy Johnson was the guy came in dictatorship. Jimmy was he's about winning. And anybody who gets in my way, I'm going to knock you down. I'm going to knock you out the way. I'm going to stomp on you. I'm going to walk over you, whatever I got to do. But I'm winning this thing. And I love you. You know what? Great, I love you, but you're fired. I love you, but you're cut. I love you. I'm the only one telling this Dave Wannstedt story, but I heard this from someone who talks to Dave Wannstedt. Folk, I'm telling you, I bet you folk have a hard time believing this. But I don't. Jimmy Johnson told Troy Aikman, you can't play for me throwing interceptions. I'll start Steve Berline. This was in 91. I find it to be ironic that Aikman got hurt in 91. Berline came in and won. And there was a controversy on whether or not Aikman was going to get his job back. But I can tell you who probably got that job back. It was none other than Jerry Jones. Y'all better believe me when I tell you, Jimmy is cutthroat. I bet you Jimmy would have had a quarterback competition if it wasn't for Jerry. But I bet you this. You know why Troy came out that next season on fire? Because he realized something. Jimmy Johnson was nothing to play with. This is Mike McCarthy's problem. This is Mike McCarthy's problem. I'm going to let you hear Jerry. And then I'm going to come back and tell you how I know Jimmy was not the one. See, Jimmy was not the one. Jimmy wouldn't put up with this stuff from Jerry. And Mike better be very careful. And we could wake up tomorrow and Mike might have a contract. But I tell you this, Mike better be careful fooling with Jerry. Jerry has a philosophy, y'all. I'm going to let you hear his philosophy in case you hadn't watched my video from the day. Jerry has a philosophy, and his philosophy is twisted. Just listen to him.
Jerry, is there a reality?
I mean, it's a given that I've decided, if we're sitting down talking about a deal, it's a given that I've decided to in that direction.
So have you decided?
Again, no.
So I want you to catch something. So I'm picking up where they're talking about Mike McCarthy's contract. I don't know who this lady is, but I'm going to find out who she is. This lady does not play with these questions. This lady is asking questions like she didn't get the memo. While everybody else is kind of tiptoeing around Jerry Jones, they probably remember the 105.3 fan issue. I don't know who this lady is. She ain't tipping around Jerry Jones. You're going to hear her voice, just a little bit, you're going to hear her voice. And then she's about to take this interview over. Let me let you hear it again.
Or you and Mike trying to get together and make a deal rather than you trying to decide to make a change?
No, I don't want to answer either one of those, but I certainly have to decide.
Jerry, is there a reality?
I mean, it's a given that I've decided if we're sitting down talking about a deal, it's a given that I've decided to in that direction.
So have you
That you'll
decided?
talk about
Again, no, in answer to your question.
That you'll talk about a deal to extend.
That's what the next few days and weeks are about. Now, founded on everything that's happened this year and everything that's
Hold on, pump the brakes. So Mike McCarthy's contract is officially up on January 14th. Did y'all catch what Jerry said? Maybe this is just hyperbole. Did Jerry just say this is what we're going to be talking about over the next few days and weeks? What? No. Mike better get some gumption. You're not gonna hold me hostage. You're not gonna hold me hostage if it's me. You're not gonna hold me hostage, Jerry Jones. 14th and this thing is up, bro. 14th and this thing is up. You will not be holding me hostage for weeks. What? Weeks? Crazy talk.
I certainly have to decide.
Jerry, is there a reality?
I mean, it's a given that I've decided if we're sitting down talking about a deal, it's a given that I've decided to in that direction.
So have you
That you'll talk
decided?
about-
Again, no, in answer to your question.
That you'll talk about a deal to extend.
That's what the next few days and weeks are about. Now, founded on everything that's happened this year and everything that's happened over the last 4 years. For there, not really much different than any time that we've had a year that is over. I've had coaches under contract that I thought we might consider a change, and they were thinking maybe a change under contract. So this business of under or out of contract is not an influencer with me at all.
You're
not concerned about other teams?
Hold on. I just caught on to this. Jerry said the contract being up is not an influencer on me. I'm telling y'all, Jerry is a shrewd operator. Jerry's a shrewd operator. Excuse me. The stuff that Jerry is saying is crazy. If Jerry don't have a deal for Mike McCarthy by the 14th, which is next Wednesday, what is it, next Tuesday? I'm sorry, if I'm Mike McCarthy, I walk away and I don't turn back. I walk away and I don't turn back. If I'm Mike McCarthy, I walk away and I don't turn back. How does that old song go? If you don't love me by now, you'll never love me. If you don't know me, you'll never know me. No, I'm turning my back on the Cowboys if I'm Mike McCarthy. 14th, I'm done. I will do no more negotiating after the 14th. I'm done. I walk away from this team, period. End of story. No more discussion. If what Mike McCarthy has done over the last, if you didn't know coming into the season, Jerry, you'll never know. Mike McCarthy really got some excuses now. Dak Prescott got hurt. Zach Martin, D. Law, Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland during a part of the season. I mean, you just look at all the injuries on this team. Demarion Overshown. I mean, we could just keep on going. If you haven't seen enough by now, You're never going to see enough. I said that early in the season. What's the debate? What really is it to debate? McCarthy went 7-10 on a season where Dak Prescott got hurt. Other players got hurt. What are we saying here? What are we saying? For Mike McCarthy, I'm shutting the door. I'm shutting the door on this discussion. Jerry Jones, and I don't know, he may be saying some tough stuff in the front of the press, but this crazy talk what he's doing right here.
Well, but that's I wouldn't want a coach here that want to be someplace else.
Oh, wait. So if Mike McCarthy go talk to somebody else, that means he don't want to be in Dallas. Oh, if he don't want to put up your mess, Jerry, that means he don't want to be in Dallas. Stop it. This is madness. This is what people do to you. Let me tell y'all something. Relationships. Do not settle for the one who tolerates you. You love the one that celebrates you. No, see, I'm too old for this. I'm not gonna be around somebody who who tolerates me. What? Oh, I guess I'll be with you. Well, if you want to be with me, it's gonna be beep, 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 beep. No, it's not. No. I'm not going to be with someone who tolerates me. And it's amazing to me how Jerry's changing his tune right here at the end. He's been celebrating Mike McCarthy. Didn't I tell y'all? He's been celebrating Mike McCarthy after every loss, every win. All of a sudden, we get to this press conference. And the way he's talking about Mike McCarthy, Jerry, you said you weren't going to talk about it. Shut up then. Shut up. Just don't even talk about it. Any of these questions right here, don't talk about it. Don't talk about any of it. You and Mike McCarthy need to be doing this behind closed doors. But Jerry does this to his players. He does it to his coaches. He does. This man just said somebody don't want to be here if they want to go test their options. Well, if you haven't signed me, just listen.
Would you let any other team talk to him before you make a decision on him? Your grant permission?
Again, I'm not even for sure that where we are with the technical, what you can do and what you can't do. I think that before you can talk to a coach, you're supposed to know officially, is he still under contract or not? And the facts are he's under contract.
Sure.
Wait. Now, here come this woman. Now, if any of y'all know who this woman is, please put it in the chat. This woman is about to go savage on Jerry Jones. Because, did you catch what he said? See, Jerry talking all this noise about talking to folk. She is about to call him to the carpet. She about to go nuclear on Jerry Jones. Just listen.
I know you're not going to get into this, but if you determine you want him back, I assume it would be a rather short negotiating period, because if that didn't work out, you would need to move on and get into
I'm sorry, and I'm interrupting, and I don't mean to, but I've already got the answer. The determining and the negotiation are all in the same motion. You don't have to say, I think that means you'd like to talk about staying and I'd like to talk about you staying. That's not what happens. You just sit there and give it the kind of consideration. Well, anything into that, because he's full of having accomplished. I want to pay you this much. Hey, look, the financial end of it, an accomplishment, and you align that with the financial end of it. For instance, I might say, look, The more you can have,
I was trying to get to this lady's
everybody
voice,
wants it
but
to be on the incentive plan and contract status.
Jerry, is there a reality where
okay, so I think she might be a little later, but I want you to hear what Jerry says about contracts. Just check this out.
Mike is back with a different offensive play call?
Well, anything is possible, and because of contract status, and most of the fans that I have, most of the fans want everybody to be on the incentive plan.
So I want y'all to catch this. This was mind-blowing to me yesterday. Jerry said the fans, all of his fans, Jerry said his fans want him to put everybody on the incentive plan. What? I would like to know who his fans are. The incentive plan. Listen to him explain it.
Everybody wants it to be on the incentive plan. And so the more you can have the incentive plan, to me, the better you've got the way sports is aligned with sports and a goal of having accomplishment. And you align that with the financial end of it.
Now, let me tell you how dumb this is. See, Jerry Jones is saying something without saying something. Let me explain to you what he's saying. He wants everyone else to take all the risk while he gets all the reward. What? It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that Jerry Jones says he wants the coaches and he wants the players to be on the incentive plan. But isn't it amazing that the owners are not on the incentive plan? Isn't it amazing? How about this, Jerry? How about the franchises got paid or made money in the pot according to where they finished in their said races? So it's 1 through 32. So, Jerry, if you finish at number 32, you get less money. If you finish at number 1, you get most of the money. I wonder, would Jerry go for that? So is it an incentive thing, Jerry? Because if it's an incentive thing, then why shouldn't you be on an incentive? Why shouldn't you? You see how crazy and ridiculous this is? What's good for you is not good for me. This is the very reason why I don't care what anyone says about these players getting money. They better get their money. Because when you got people like this who think like this is insane talk. Oh, okay, so let's see. You go out there, you put your body on the line. Check. You go out there and you could literally be made paralyzed and never walk again. Check. You could go out there on that field and never walk off again. Check. Meanwhile, the league is pulling in billions of dollars, and then we want to try to limit the players on what they can make by saying the incentive plan. Oh, we going to pay him a very low base salary. Okay, if you get 1,000 yards, we'll give you another 250,000. You get two. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, you're going to put the coaches who give up their entire life. They ruin their marriages, don't get to raise their children. They are making the ultimate sacrifices all the way through the football season. Even when the players are on vacation, the coaches get a small vacation and they're right back at it. This is stupid. This is stupid talk. This is stupid talk. And I'm telling y'all, please, don't buy into these notions of, man, all that money they making, man, I do that for less. You crazy then. You crazy then. And I mean that respectfully. You're crazy. I'm not paying for I'm not playing for a penny less. I'm going to get all the money I can in this league. You know why? Because this man on that screen, he getting all the money he can too. You see, Jerry, he ain't talking about himself. See, he got the money. So he ain't talking about himself. He want everyone else to live on the edge except for him. Sports is, it's the ultimate. It's based on the incentive plan. What? Stupid talk. Stupid. I'm telling you, Michael Parsons does not understand the cow patty that he stepped in. Michael Parsons does not understand the cow patty that he stepped in. He is helping this man in this insane talk. This is insane talk. The incentive plan. I want to know who these fans are. I want to know who these fans are. Because I'm going to tell these fans, y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy. Because if that's the case, then you need to apply that same principle to your occupation. Apply to your occupation. I promise you, you won't like it. I promise you, you won't like it. There'll always be somebody that can outwork you. I'm telling you, there'll be somebody that'll outwork you. And you might work harder than them. And they'll work smarter than you. They may have an easier job than you. There may be all kinds of circumstances, and they will get it before you. This man is talking crazy. You want to know why we keep going through all these issues? This man's philosophy on money is crazy. It's crazy. It makes no sense. Let him finish. He gonna really throw this over the top.
For instance, I might say, look, I'm going to pay you this much, but then I'll pay you not any more, and I know you want twice that. But if you get to the playoffs or you win a Super Bowl, I'll give you 5 times that.
What? Hold on, Mike McCarthy. I've been bragging on the Super Bowl you went to. I've been bragging on the playoffs you went to. I've been bragging on the wins that you got. But isn't it strange? We didn't hear none of this talk from Jerry up until this game. All of a sudden now, Jerry talking the incentive plan. I wonder, could he be talking the incentive plan because Mike McCarthy got one playoff win? I wonder, could he be talking about the incentive plan because Mike McCarthy, I know you got 3 12-win seasons, but you got one playoff win and no Super Bowls. I wonder, could this be why he's singing this song now? He wasn't singing this song last week. He wasn't singing this song the week before that. I was saying it before. Some don't sound right about the way this man is singing. All of a sudden now, he talking different, ain't he? Oh, wait. You haven't heard the statement that floored me yesterday. Listen to this.
But the guy across the street might say, I'm going to give it to you without any escalator.
Exactly. And
Tell him who this lady, whoever, if anybody know who this lady is, please tell me. This lady just hit him with a megaton bomb, a Mike Tyson blow. Let me let you hear it again.
you can have the incentive plan. To me, the better you've got the way sports is aligned with sports and a goal of having accomplishment, and you align that with the financial end of it. For instance, I might say, look, I'm going to pay you this much, but then I'll pay you not any more, and I know you want twice that. But if you get to the playoffs or you win a Super Bowl, I'll give you 5 times that.
But the guy across the street might say, I'm going to give it to you without any escalator.
Exactly, and then you've got a decision.
Whoever this lady is, put this man back in reality. Oh, what did this fool tell you? Oh, he want to put you on an incentive plan. I tell you what we'll do. We'll pay you. Oh, we'll pay you to come play for us because we don't believe in that nonsense. We'll pay you to come play for us. This woman just brought him back to reality. Jerry, ain't nobody living in your world, man. Ain't nobody living in that dumb world. This is why Jerry, I'm thinking this might be a part of the reason why Jerry, he waits so long on these contracts, because he's trying to convince folks of this incentive plan. He's trying to convince folks, and they're like, no, I'm not going off no incentive plan. No, Jerry, I want to be here, but I'm not going to devalue myself. Jerry trying to sell folks on this incentive plan, man. Don't y'all let Jerry show up at your door selling something. Don't y'all do it. Jerry had y'all all messed up in the head. Man, wait. Let me let you hear this, and I'm going to read the super chat, and then I'm going to go to some of your comments. Listen to him as he keeps going. He going to keep digging this hole. Jerry ain't done.
You got a decision, for sure.
But how could he know that if he's not allowed to talk to you until January 14th?
Then I would say,
woo! Did you hear what she said? Now watch this. This is the question of the interview. And now, this is what I want you to hear, because now it's being reported that Jerry has backtracked on this very statement. Let me let you hear it again. Boy, I don't know. Please, one of y'all tell me who this woman is. She is destroying Jerry Jones. She's destroying him. She's destroying him. I bet you Jerry's telling somebody come get this lady. Because ain't nobody else asking questions like this. She is. Listen to her again.
times that.
But the guy across the street might say, I'm going to give it to you without any escalator.
Exactly, and then you've got a decision. For sure.
But how can he know that if he's not allowed to talk to you until January 14th?
Then I would say go talk.
It has been reported that Jerry Jones has denied the Chicago Bears access to Mike McCarthy. Isn't it amazing? This woman has destroyed Jerry Jones. She said, how can someone know if someone is willing to pay them when you want to put them on the incentive plan? Well, how can they know? Because she's saying something. They should be able to go talk. You hear what Jerry said? Go talk. Now, Jerry is saying this because he knows Mike McCarthy can't talk unless he gives him permission. He can't talk until January 14th. Until January 15th, Mike McCarthy can't talk. The contract expires January 14th, I'm pretty sure at midnight. So then Mike can begin to talk. But Jerry, pumping that chest out, says, well, go talk. Go find out if somebody wants you. Oh, so Jerry, so look at this smile. So Jerry, you gonna give him permission? Because you got to give Mike, because this is how she's calling him to the carpet. So Jerry, you got to let him go talk. Jerry says, go talk. Go talk. It's amazing. It's amazing what's being reported today. Listen to what he says.
I really would. Go talk.
So it sounds like you
I just let Zeke do that.
Hold on. He said he really would. He really would tell him go talk. So why didn't he tell Mike McCarthy that? Why didn't he tell Mike McCarthy that? I hope somebody asked him this question. You said in your post-game press conference that if somebody wanted to go see if somebody else was going to offer them something, why you want to put them on the incentive plan, you would tell him to go talk. So did you tell Mike McCarthy to go talk? Because it sounded like you told him that he couldn't talk. That's what it sounded like to me. Wait a minute. She ain't done.
Gotcha.
I don't want anybody here. That's not healthy to have somebody around that wants to be someplace else. Really, it's not. And there's too many ways for everybody to go to be around where you don't want to be.
Now Jerry patted himself on the back. He said, I did the same thing for Zeke. Come on, Jerry. All you did was fix a mistake. You shouldn't have never bought Zeke here in the first place. That's number one. Number two, Zeke was doing nothing on this team. He was not a pivotal cog. Let's stop acting like Zeke was having a Derrick Henry year or a Saquon Barkley year, but y'all wasn't going nowhere. And you said, hey, Zeke, take your 1,800 yards somewhere. Take your 1,800 yards and let somebody in the playoffs use it. Jerry let Zeke go because Zeke was doing nothing and was probably going to be inactive in this game anyway. Jerry, stop it. Zeke asked, could he be released because he wasn't doing nothing anyway. And the Chargers, they picked him up because they got injuries and for emergency purposes. We'll see how they use him. We'll see how they use him. But I got a strange feeling that we know he's already not going to be a starter, and I'm pretty sure they're going to use him sparingly. He's an emergency back. Jerry patting himself on the back. She ain't done with him.
But is it also healthy, and I don't mean to be combative,
Sure.
but
She said, I don't mean to be combative. She knocked him all upside the head. She definitely being combative, ain't she?
is it also healthy to not know where you stand with somebody? The bird in the hand, in other words.
Who is this lady? She said, is it healthy? Is it healthy to not know where you stand with somebody? Let me tell you something, y'all people, all of us who are in relationships. If you don't know where you stand with the person who you're in a relationship with, you're actually not in a relationship. Somebody is using you. Somebody's using you. Jerry Jones should stop talking. This is delusional. What he's saying is delusional. And this lady, look at this dude back here. Look how he's looking at her. Look how they looking at her. Look how they looking at her. Look at how Jerry looking. Look. I bet this dude right here, I wish I would have asked that question. I wish I had enough nerve to ask that question. This lady is killing Jerry Jones. Killing him like people should when he talking like this. When he talking like this, folks need clarity. Folks need clarity on this stuff. And the more Jerry talks, he just keeps digging that hole deeper and deeper and deeper. He just keep digging it. Listen.
How can you want someone to want to stay here if you're not telling them you want them to stay here?
I'm sorry, y'all. This lady is talking about a relationship. I don't know who this lady is. She talking about a relationship. Don't you be with nobody who won't tell you they want you to be with them. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. If a person can't commit to you, nah, they're using you. If you giving them the milk, but they won't commit to you, you better stop giving them the milk. You better stop giving them the groceries. Folks better learn. I tell folks this all the time. I tell young folks this. Hey, stop letting boyfriends have husband privileges. Stop letting girlfriends have wife privileges. Me and my wife on a whole nother level than what I was on girlfriends some 25 years ago. Girlfriends don't get privileges like my wife get. No girlfriends ever got that privilege. This dude, Jerry Jones, is delusional. This woman is taking him to school. Come on, Jerry. Do you think what you're saying sounds right, Jerry, out loud? You want Mike McCarthy to prove to you that he want to be here by taking less money and talking to nobody and finding out what his status is. While you get to take days and weeks After you done seen this man for 4 seasons, now 5 seasons, you get to sit around now and determine his future. Hey, man, January 14th, I'm shutting the door on you. I'm slamming the door shut if I'm Mike McCarthy. I'm slamming the door shut. You will not talk to me after January the 14th, Jerry. You better lose my number. Man, you better lose my number after January 14th, Jerry. I don't know who you talk about weeks. You got weeks. This lady is destroying Jerry. Listen.
It's called tolerance for ambiguity.
Oh, so Jerry has made up another Jerryism. Tolerance of ambiguity.
The highest, no, exactly. The example is the Mississippi riverboat gambler.
Hold on. So right here off the top. So Jerry, you're saying this is a gamble, right? So it's a gamble. But I'm taking all the risk. Y'all ever realize something in a card game? Anybody who play poker, anybody who has ever visited the boat. I don't condone gambling, but I'm saying you go to the casinos and stuff like that. Even when you bet money, do you know they're not trying to lose? They're actually not trying to lose. It's designed for you to lose. It's designed for you to lose. See, you're gambling, but the reality is they're collecting all of the money. Because the chances of you winning when you're gambling like that is really slim to none. I want y'all to imagine this. What if the only team that got paid in the NFL was the team that won the Super Bowl? All these people take a gamble and only one team win. How crazy is that? Some of them are getting more injured. Some of them aren't even getting back on the field anymore. I mean, people out there just getting hurt left and right because you know how hard they're going to play if only one can win it. I mean, there might literally be some murders out there on the field because the things that people would be doing if only one team got it. Y'all, some of y'all might not realize what I'm telling you. Jerry's delusional. And he's giving you the inner workings of his mind. And maybe this is why him in these contracts, he winds up paying so much money because he's trying to get all of these incentives. And these players are telling him and their agents are like, heck no. Ain't no way I'm doing that. This lady she's doing everything everyone should have been doing a long time ago. But I want you to hear this statement that Jerry makes about Mike McCarthy. I'm telling you, man, I don't know. If I'm Mike, I'm already shutting the door. But listen to this.
He's his most charming. He's his most glib. He's his cleverest. When on the next card, he could get thrown overboard, or on the next card on the boat. That's when he's the best. If you put someone like that and he knows for sure what's going to happen at the end of the night, you won't see his full potential to go. So you've got to have a tolerance for ambiguity to be on the incentive plan. Those that have it are war daddies in a lot of ways.
So let's just cue in on what this man just said. That is absolutely crazy. This is what he tried to do this season. Are y'all catching this? Jerry put an entire coaching staff. He put an entire coaching staff on this tolerance of ambiguity. As in other words, since they don't know if they're going to get a contract or not, they better play hard. They better win with less, do more with less, if they want that money at the end. But they got to have a tolerance of ambiguity. If they do it, they get paid. If they win, they get paid. If they accomplish the playoffs and do whatever they do, they get paid. But if they don't get paid. You want to know why we have 30 free agents coming up? This is ludicrous. It is absolutely insane. I can see exactly why this dude has problems with people and contracts and why this team continues to have problems. See, y'all might not realize this, but Jimmy Johnson was the last of the Mohicans. Jerry Jones paid Jimmy Johnson generously, y'all. Generously. I bet you go back and look at all those coaches' contracts since then, he ain't paid nobody generously. Maybe Bill Parcells. But do y'all see the result? Jerry wants to do more with less when it comes to his team. This is his philosophy. More with less. More with less. More with less. Meanwhile, all these other teams who are winning Super Bowls, no. More. This is why Jerry's having these problems. He's letting us into his brain. And this lady, she's bringing it out of him more and more and more. And he don't even realize how he's looking. Because today, I don't know if anyone else is saying this, he looking silly now. Maybe they'll be saying it tomorrow. He looking silly now. I thought you told Mike McCarthy to go talk. You ain't telling him to go talk now. You told him, hey, man, you can't talk. This is crazy. Everything this lady is pointing out is on point. Listen to this statement.
You have your list ready.
Did you follow that?
I think so.
Well, I'll clear it up for you if you want to. Okay, but go back and look at it. But the point is, some people work better. Some people don't. Some people have to know that they want the check at the end of the day, and they.
This is an insult. He basically is saying the carrot dangling over the head of the donkey makes the donkey work harder. Well, maybe there's a reason why we call a donkey a jackass. The carrot is being held over your head, but you're never going to get it, jackass. This is what Jerry is doing. He wants all of his contracts, even with Mike McCarthy. He wants the contract to be incentive-laden. This is crazy. So you're going to put your life, players, put your life on the line. You're going to put your life on the line for something that might not materialize. And for everybody who's saying, oh, I don't see no problem with it. Okay, so let's put this in context at your job. So if your job doesn't meet its quota, no matter how hard you work, because the whole facility is a team, and y'all don't meet your quota, and they tell you, if we don't meet the quota, you don't get paid, and you don't meet your quota, you think this is still fair? It's crazy talk. It's crazy talk.
Need to know.
He did that this year, though, Jerry. I mean,
What?
it's on an expiring deal. There was the incentives and initiative. There's an initiative for him to win this year.
Of course.
She won't quit. She won't quit. Did y'all hear what she said? She said, Jerry, didn't you do that this year? Look at his face. Look at his face. Jerry, didn't you do that this year? It didn't work. It did not work. And I'm telling y'all, it wasn't working before the injuries. It was not working before the injuries. We were getting the doors blew off us even before the injuries. Boy, that Cleveland game, I said, man, this is business as usual. We're going to be 12-5 again, maybe even 13-4. And then we commenced to getting the doors blew off of us week after week after week after week. Dank said, all in. Yeah. Do y'all know what we've been watching? Jerry just explained it, y'all. Tolerance of ambiguity. Jerry wanted to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to get to y'all's comments in a moment. I'm just telling you. He wanted to create a sense of urgency by putting everybody on these one-year contracts, leaving all these deals undone with these players. Players who you probably could have got them on super cheap deals. Could you imagine? Let's just say we wanted to keep Rico Dowdle. Could y'all imagine what they could have got Rico Dowdle for before he ran for 1,000 yards this season? Could y'all imagine what the Cowboys could have signed Brandon Aubrey to before he went and got Todd Francis? Can you imagine what we could have got Cavonte Turpin for before he makes another Pro Bowl again and is the top returner in the league? I could just keep doing this all day long. This is the stuff of why people keep talking, oh, they can't get nobody on this team because of the deals they signed. No, that's not it. It's because of when they do the deals and the deals they're trying to sign. I'm just telling y'all the truth. People better learn how to judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. Jerry talking about war daddies. Sometimes you got to be careful. A person in a contract year, it's probably not the year you want to judge about them and their contract. The reality is when you start talking about a player and you want to pay him, you need to be looking at his body of work. Because I'm telling you, man, war daddies going to be war daddies no matter what you do with them contracts. They are going to do their thing no matter if you pay them or not. The question is are you going to pay them? It's the same thing with guys who get money, and it's the same thing with the guys who don't take money. Guys who don't take money perform well. Guys who take money, they perform well. But Jerry, I'm telling y'all, he wants people to take all the risk, but he's taking none. Jerry's actually taking no risk. And the reason why I say he's taking no risk, especially, one, he's not losing money. The team continues to soar in value. He's not losing money. Guess why? Because he doesn't even make a Super Bowl a priority. Mike Fisher said something today that I thought was incredible. He said he doesn't think one time this season he heard Jerry Jones say Super Bowl. That's crazy work. That lets you know from the beginning, Jerry knew exactly all this stuff he's doing. He knew exactly what it was. Let's conclude this.
Do we really think that this year, in any way, any place, should be the basis of going forward to next year? Okay, I don't know that this year should be the basis of that. Relative to a contract, how long, all of those kinds of things. I wouldn't say that it is at all relative to the contract at all. I think it has to do with the situation. I've had all kinds of agreements with coaches and certainly with other employees. My most successful agreements have been when there was less guaranteed and they made more on the incentive plan. That's been the most success I've had with agreements. I think it fits sports very well.
Do you think Mike McCarthy thrives in that kind of situation?
I don't know. I will tell you this. He's got a head start in it by being a coach. So you got a lot of ambiguity with coaches.
Now, he asked him, he said, do you think Mike McCarthy flourishes in that environment? So now we're seeing something else. Jerry wanted to see if Mike McCarthy would flourish in that environment. But what he didn't figure into that environment, with no depth on his team, he didn't figure into that environment that there were going to be injuries. Jerry based an entire season, y'all, in case y'all don't realize it, Jerry based an entire season on the tolerance of ambiguity. Jerry wants to win his way. Jerry wants to go to the league and say, this is the way. Man, I'm telling y'all, I told y'all this earlier. This man cannot succeed in this mad scientist experiment. I said this mid-season. When they started talking playoffs, I said, please, they cannot be successful. Because if they're successful, can y'all imagine what Jerry Jones takes back to the owners' meeting? Hey, guys, maybe we need to come up with a tolerance of ambiguity. Maybe we should make all of our contracts going forward incentive-laden, incentive-based. Because guess who makes all the money when they don't meet the quotas? Y'all better understand something. Some of us ain't recognizing game. This is robbery. Y'all think this is about winning. No, this man is talking about money on a grand scale. How much you bet? How much you bet? Do you think the betting houses pay out more money or bring in more money? Do they pay out more money or do they bring in more money? When you go to the casino, do you think the casino is paying out more money or bringing in more money? Do we not realize that Jerry Jones on a grand scale, because what happens if you make everyone incentive based? Let me phone this in for you. Maybe you don't understand what I'm telling you. Cooper Rush missed $500,000. $500,000. He needed to start 55% of the snaps. And they didn't even give him the opportunity to do it the last game. For Trey Lance, who they didn't play the whole season, of whom I thought they should have played the minute Dak Prescott went down. But Mike McCarthy said the whole time, well, he gives us the best chance to win. So when you got eliminated, you still didn't start. You still didn't start Trey Lance against the Philadelphia Eagles. And there was nothing to play for. You still didn't start him. And you wait until the last game of the season when he got $500,000 on the line and you don't play him? So where you think that money went to? You think that $500,000 went to charity? Or did the league and that team get to keep that money? Y'all better recognize game. Y'all better recognize game. Jerry has a devious plan. Jerry would love to take this idea to the owners and say, hey, guys, how about this tolerance of ambiguity? How about we make all football contracts incentive-based? Man, Micah Parsons don't know what he's doing. Man, you better recognize when you're helping the devil. I like Jerry Jones as an owner. I think he's done a lot of good things for the league. But this talk right here, y'all better recognize some of y'all children and grandchildren, some of y'all nieces or nephews. I'm sorry, I should be saying nephews. Some of y'all nephews, some of y'all sons, grandsons. Y'all better recognize these could be your sons playing in a league where this man is trying to take away the American way of make all the money that you can, while he's going to make all the money, him and his family who own the team, him and the league, they're going to make all the money they can while trying to incentivize coaches and players. This is crazy.
You have a list ready if you decide you have to make a change or Mike decides to go elsewhere?
Yeah, I always know coaches and where they've been. And when we go to Mobile, you'll see about 500 of them down there that would love to be on the staff.
If you're all in for 2024, what's the mantra for 2024?
That number got 500's gotten in trouble, but there are that
win a Super Bowl?
There are that many, and yes, there you'll see coaches down there that have had Super Bowl, been on Super Bowl staffs. Absolutely, you do. And there are probably Super Bowl coaches out here right now, given the opportunity, would coach again.
If you're all
in my mind, there are.
If you were all in 2024, what's the mantra for 2025?
Well, I don't know if I can do another check. All in's pretty good with Dak Prescott's. How many $100 million is it?
240.
Okay. Is that enough in for you? Okay. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Is that enough in? Is C.D. Lamb is enough in? We really went all in with Dak. Okay. We put a cornerstone that we work with here, and we're going to work with in these decisions we're making, work with as we look ahead the next 3 or 4 years. That decision was made when we signed Dak.
This is the only thing that gives me hope. He just said in very cryptic language, or at least it sounds like what he's saying, we're going to put some players around Dak Prescott. At least that's what it sounds like he's saying. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But the reason why I was letting you hear all of this is the question was asked of Jerry Jones. The question was asked of Jerry Jones, does Mike McCarthy want to be here? And Jerry Jones casually looks over to the other room and says, you got to ask him that. I can't answer that. You got to ask him that. He's over next door. Wow. I'm telling you, man, I was flabbergasted when I listened to this. I just said, this is crazy talk. This is crazy talk by Jerry Jones. I don't know any other way to slice it. He has a whole different, an entirely different outlook on how people should get paid. And I really think it's a snapshot into his mind of why he struggles to sign players the way that he does. Why he's waiting to the last minute. Because he's trying to get these outlandish incentives in these contracts. And these players are saying, no, not going to do it. Because we're taking all the risk and you're taking none. Because if we don't make it, all the money goes in your pocket. This is a part of the game people don't understand. This is why I'm not mad, for example, that that they're paying players in college. I think they need some regulations. I think they really need to go in and look and see how they're doing these things and have some regulations and things of that nature. But this is exactly what the NCAA was doing. And their only incentive was, well, we're giving them an education. So you're telling me a $120,000 education is equivalent to the millions and millions of dollars that you're making off of a player's likeness. They can't make money off the jersey sales, but you can. They can't make money off you putting them in commercials that are doing certain things for the NCAA. Oh, but you can. They're on the field. They're taking the hits. They're running the touchdowns. They're doing everything. And you get to sit back and fat cat and you get to make all the money, all the regulations, and they get none. And then you get to take away awards if you find out that somebody gave somebody $10,000 or a crib or a car. The NCAA was doing this same thing, and it was robbery. The incentive was an education. So, hold on a second. So, did I tell you I wanted an education? I'm just speaking the quiet parts out loud. Because do y'all realize that when they go get these top flight athletes to come to their schools, when they get these top flight athletes to come to their schools and play football, basketball, run track, in particular football and basketball, because those are the two big money sports, do you think that they're actually asking those players to come and be academians? Do you know that at a lot of these schools, even these higher learning institutions, do you realize that when it comes to the athletics, they actually lower the bar of what they have to make to be in the school? I'm sorry, you didn't actually call Shaquille O'Neal to your college to go to college, did you? See, this is the part of the game nobody want to talk about. If your son or daughter is a freak athlete, believe me when I tell you, your son or daughter's education is the last thing on these people's mind. That's just the dream they sell you. Hey, you can get a great education going here. You think that's what they told them? Hey, when you go there, hey, I want you to make sure that you really care about that child and you really emphasize to them the great education they're going to get. No, you know what they're saying? Hey, if we can land this one, boy, we're going to win a lot of games, a lot of money, notoriety, boom, 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 all these things. So make sure you sell that education part, because that's the only thing we really have to offer them. These NIL deals finally start getting these kids paid. Because the reality is Jerry is doing something similar. These people were trying to make college athletes feel guilty for getting paid, make parents feel guilty if their children got paid, making society feel guilty if college kids got paid, while they're making billions on these kids. And the only thing they're giving them is an education. What? Miss me. Miss me. Jerry want to do the same thing in the pros. Oh, let me give you a base salary. Let me give you a small base salary. And if you get to the playoffs, I'll give you this. And if you get to the Super Bowl, I'll give you 5 times what you want. 5 times what you want. Really? You're going to give me 5 times what I want? Okay, because I want $15 million. So you telling me you're going to give me $75 million. Miss me with this talk. It's crazy. It's crazy talk, y'all. And I'm telling you, Micah Parsons does not understand what he's doing. He's helping this type of behavior. He's helping it. Let me read some of your comments. B. Bird, appreciate that super chat, $4.99. Mike is the second lowest paid coach, but Jerry want to pay him even less. Hopefully now that Mike showed that other teams wants to bring him in will change. Yes. The Dallas Cowboys have one of the lowest payrolls in the NFL. Mike McCarthy is not getting paid a lot of money. He's not. A lot of people do not understand that. He's not getting paid a lot of money. This man has won a Super Bowl. Jerry Jones has bragged about him. Everyone has heard it. He's bragged about him all season long. But now when he gets to the end, it's amazing how he sounds now. It's amazing to me how he sounds. He's night and day on this. He's night and day on Mike McCarthy now. He's night and day. Because all of the media was saying, well, it's inevitable. The way Jerry keeps talking about Mike. Now, I started saying, hold on a second. He sounds like a person. He sounds like to me when you hear sometimes a woman talking about a guy, he really nice. Ooh, girl, wine and dine. He opened the doors. Ooh, girl, he do this, he do that. But, hold on. You giving me way too much. All I need to hear is, are you going to date him or not? Ooh, he too nice for me. Men do the same thing. You have to do, hey man, that girl, she like really seem nice, man. You ought to wife her up, bro. She do this for you, she do that for you, she cook breakfast for you, she wash your clothes, she clean up your place. Hey man, you ought to wife her up. Yeah, man, I know, man, but it's this other shorty. That's exactly how he sounded. Who are you trying to convince? You either want to put a ring on it or you don't. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. You done been with this man for 4 seasons. So you wanted to put him, let me get this straight. You wanted to put him under duress on a lame duck contract, did nothing for him in free agency, got him no trades at the trade deadline except Jonathan Mingo, and your expectation was, because his job was on the line, that he was going to coach so good that even with less, Mike McCarthy, and he had no intentions on going to the Super Bowl. And I told y'all this from the beginning, planned demolition. Jerry never intended on going to the Super Bowl, but he at least wanted to look good in this plan. And he would have loved to brag to everybody. Hey man, this concept of tolerance of ambiguity. The riverboat gambler. You could tell Jerry had that whole spiel. Jerry got that whole spiel planned out. Absolutely crazy, B-Bird. Crazy. And you know what I hope, B-Bird? I hope some more teams. I wish some more teams would ask. Because, see, I talked about this in the video I released today. See, Jerry understands something. If Jerry lets Mike McCarthy go talk to people, Mike McCarthy gets leverage. Because Mike McCarthy and Don Yee, his agent, gets to make their stipulations of this is what it would take for us to come coach here. Because that's typically what people ask. What will it take for you to come coach here? And you give them your stipulations. And then if they read your stipulations and they say, okay, this is nothing. Not only we will give you this, we'll give you this, and this. Well, then you get to go take this back to Jerry and say, uh-oh, we cooking with grease now. I told y'all yesterday, Jerry already knows if he resigns Mike McCarthy, he's got to give him 3 things now. And this is why he's doing what he's doing in the press. He does it here in the DFW area. For any of you who are not in the DFW area, Jerry does this to these players on a regular basis. He will take them on 105.3 The Fan, and he will wreck them. He will wreck them. As Dez Bryant. As Cole Beasley. He will wreck them. He will sully their name in subtle ways to where, oh yeah, I want them on the team. I just don't think, but paying them this and paying them that and paying them this. He does this on a regular basis. Now he's doing the same thing with Mike McCarthy. Thing is with Micah Parsons doesn't want to play that game. Micah Parsons would rather devalue himself. Micah Parsons, and I think he's coming from a good place. I think Micah Parsons, he's looking at what all these other teams are doing, like the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings of the world. I mean, he's looking at what everyone else is doing, how they're putting players around their quarterback. And Michael is trying to figure out a way, okay, how can I get Jerry to do the same thing for us? But Michael got to understand something. That's not your job, bro. That's not your job. You let your agent do this talking. You let your agent do your talking. Because the moment you knock your agent out of the way, Jerry can tell you anything he wants to now. And then what? You just want your agent to accept it? He got to get paid too. He got to feed his family too. Not only that, there are other players. You don't want to be setting these precedents. You let these guys work this stuff out, because if you don't, I'm telling you, Jerry would love. Do y'all know these owners would love for all these players to do what Micah Parsons is doing? Micah Parsons might as well fire his agent. What do you need him for? I mean, you're going to work your own deal out anyway. Now he's talking about he wants to meet with Jerry Jones. He got 4 questions for him. Well, doggone it, Micah Parsons. Fire your doggone agent. Just fire him. Negotiate your own doggone deal. Because at this point, you're actually not negotiating a deal. You're just going to let Jerry Jones give you a deal. And then Jerry Jones is going to be calling you a war daddy, and behind closed doors, he's going to be thumbing money. Look at all the money we saved on Micah. Don't let this man sell you a dream. This is not a gamble, man. Don't let this man sell you a dream. Jerry, I'm telling you, man, I love Jerry as an owner, but the GM stuff got to go. The GM stuff got to go. It's crazy talk. Alex, appreciate that super chat. What's going on, my brother? Jay Recruiter, what's going on? Appreciate that $5 super chat. Jerry wants to offer Big Mike $5 million per year. And if he wins a Super Bowl, he going to give him a $20 million bonus. I tell you this. You better put that in writing if it's me. He better put that in writing if it's me. Because I ain't trusting him. He better put that in writing. This is crazy talk, man. Let me read some of your comments. This is crazy talk that Jerry's doing, man. This is crazy talk. Dang, I'm going to come back to this comment right here, I think. You said 3rd and 1, throw it deep. I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Andre said he needs to go. You know the thing to me, Andre? Here's where I'm torn with Mike McCarthy. I understand the problem that is Jerry Jones. But I also understand the problem that is Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy has an issue to where he doesn't like to run the ball. He's very inconsistent in his play calling. He doesn't understand situational football. And the team is starting to be a reflection of him. You start hearing all this philosophical stuff from Dak Prescott, now Micah Parsons. I mean, oh, yeah, we watched a movie. Oh, yeah, we read a book. Oh, yeah, we went to a symphony. I mean, come on, man. I'm not saying you can't use other ways of motivation. But you think about how more motivated it seemed like they were when they heard that Mike McCarthy could be gone. So now you got a fire in your belly that you didn't have in the 12-win seasons? We didn't see this against Green Bay. We didn't see this against San Francisco in the playoffs. And I think it's more to it than that. I don't really think that's what created the urgency. I think what created some of the urgency is the fact that they have 30 free agents who don't know where they're going to be playing next year. Coaches who don't know where they're going to be coaching next year. And I don't think it built the sense of urgency that Jerry thought it was going to do. Because, see, when you do that, how do you galvanize a team? Because the reality is you're not necessarily galvanizing a team. What you have is a team and a team full of mercenaries. A bunch of players on a team who are saying, I got to make sure that I look good. And in them saying, I got to look good, I think we saw people making mistakes this year. It's just not a way to play. It's not a way to play. It's not. Because if it is, you got to tell me then why are these other Super Bowl teams, why do they not have their teams on this tolerance of ambiguity? It's crazy. Freddie, what's going on? Robert said McCarthy gave up his leverage. Yep, never make the first move. Number one rule of negotiating. Mike McCarthy should shut his mouth. Let Jerry do all the talking he want to. Let him talk. Now, Jerry, Robert, and let's think about this. Mike Fisher said that he was going to write an article on this. I want to see if he got the article up yet. Because I have some ideas on this. Let me say this before I read his article. This could mean one or two things. This could mean that the negotiations are going good. That Jerry wants to sit down and present to Mike what he wants to give him, or, whatever the case may be, before anyone else gets to make an offer so he can sign Mike. But I see another side of this. You also don't want Mike to talk to anyone before you make your offer. Because if you let Mike talk to someone before you make your offer, Mike just gets to tell you, well, I got a better offer. So maybe he's saying, no, I don't want anyone to talk to Mike until I talk to him. So I get the opportunity to make the first offer. And I get to keep the leverage by not having anyone else to give an offer. But I tell you this, I still say we're going to see who blink first. Because I think Mike McCarthy has a great, I actually think this. I believe that maybe both of them should be patient. Maybe Jerry Jones should wait and see how many coaches get fired or how many coaches are available. At least see how many coaches will be available from the playoff teams. Maybe Mike McCarthy says, I want to see who all is going to be needing head coaches. I actually want to see if I can get in the interview part of some of these coaching jobs. Maybe Mike sees that. But I say if neither one of them want to do that, I say at the end of the day, go ahead and get this deal signed. Go ahead and get this deal signed. But I also think there's another issue. I told you the other day, there's three things: money, power, respect. Jerry's going to have to give Mike McCarthy if he re-signs him, and Jerry knows this. And so Jerry is trying to find ways to not give him money, power, respect. If you re-sign him, surely Mike's not going to sign for the same thing. Surely he's going to have some more stipulations. These are some other things I want and some things that I don't want to see anymore. Surely he's going to be wanting the respect. Maybe you stop talking so much in the press about this or talking about me or this team, whatever the case may be. There's got to be something in there. He's going to have to do some of these things to re-sign Mike McCarthy. Because if not, Mike McCarthy's going to have to make a decision. He either going to stay or he's going to take what Jerry's doing. Jerry's going to bury McCarthy in fairyland. At least he'll get lots of sun. Man, I'm telling you, I'm interested to see how this turns out. Freddie says, I told you all, McCarthy's not going anywhere. He's coming back minus play calling duties. And you know what? I would not be surprised, but the question becomes, Freddie, is Mike willing to come back? Is he willing to come back without the play calling duties? Kevin Bryan, he sounds like a broken record. Robert says Jerry's going to make him squirm. That's what it sounds like he's trying to do, at least for a week. And, you know, I wouldn't read too much into the Chicago thing, but I do think it reveals something about Jerry, because even Jerry ought to know this. Chicago is talking to a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people. They really want to get a good snapshot of everyone who's out there available and hear their philosophy and what could they do to help their team win. That's what they're wanting to hear. So Jerry should know that. I mean, it doesn't mean that Mike McCarthy's going to get signed, but at the same time, he may be afraid that maybe Mike McCarthy, and I said this yesterday, I don't know about Mike McCarthy, the coach, but some of the things that he talks about as far as how to build teams, concepts-wise, I mean, I think a team could probably do some good by having him in some kind of consultation position. I think he could help him in that manner. He could be good on some kind of board. Jerry is just dragging it out for the clicks, like he always does. I said that too today. I think he may just be doing this for the clicks. Crush, what's going on? He said we need an OC, not McCarthy. I think that's the issue too. I tell you, I'm gonna drop a video tonight. One of the people who I think they might ought to consider, and I actually got him down as maybe the Cowboys should consider him as a head coach, but I think who they ought to consider is Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is a great play caller. The issue is, sorry about that stutter, but the issue is, I think we have to maybe acknowledge, and I have to finally acknowledge, Trevor Lawrence is not a generational talent. I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be a generational talent. Trevor Lawrence is not a generational talent. He's looked anything but a generational talent. People don't realize something. If you compare his first few years to Dak Prescott's first few years, you would think that Dak Prescott was the first round draft pick, because Trevor Lawrence has not done well. He got paid, what is it, $55 million for what? Potential? I'm not hating on him. Get paid. If they're going to pay you, take it. But he's done way less, just like Justin Herbert. They paid him on potential. But Trevor Lawrence has not looked good, and he stayed hurt. He has stayed hurt. It just hasn't worked all the way around. It hasn't worked all the way around. And so, and the thing that gets me is, I'm just tripping on the fact that Doug Peterson with Trevor Lawrence couldn't seem to win. But Doug Peterson with Nick Foles, he was already winning with Carson Wentz. But then he took Nick Foles and went to the Super Bowl against Tom the GOAT Brady and the New England Patriots, and Nick Foles won on that team. That team, Doug Peterson won. And if Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent and they couldn't get close, some of it's been player personnel. Some of it's been injuries on Trevor Lawrence's part. But then some of it has just been the fact that Trevor Lawrence has just played terrible. And so now Doug Peterson's out the door. I think he's a good play caller. I think if they keep Mike McCarthy, maybe they bring him on as the play caller. Because I'm with you. They do need a play caller. They do. Kevin said, you said something last night I need to hear. Thank you. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this stuff is crazy. This stuff is crazy. Janie said, that's right. Never show your hand. That's it. That's it. And these people who are showing their hand is crazy to me. Troy said, this is easy. Elevate Will McClay and let him bring his guy. Bring him. You know what? Hey, Troy, I'm going to do a video about this next week. We better be worried. Will McClay's contract is up too. This is it. See, we're talking about coaches. Will McClay may be walking out of here too. He may be walking out of here. Kevin said, I think Mike McCarthy should go to the Bears. He will have more control. You know what? I'll tell you this. Mike McCarthy could be a good fit for the Bears. Could be. I don't know about for sure. But he could probably help out Caleb Williams and help him develop as a quarterback. Because you think about the fact that he's been with Aaron Rodgers. We saw what Aaron Rodgers did, even though they couldn't get over the hump but one time. We saw what he did with Dak Prescott last year, but you know what? We might better pump the brakes a little bit on the Dak Prescott thing, because when Mike McCarthy said that he kept, and I already knew this, but he kept Kellen Moore's system. And he just kind of modified it and added a few of his things in there. So it was basically a mix of Kellen Moore and him, and it became the Texas Coast. Well, it's obvious he don't like the Texas Coast because he's went back to the West Coast. And even Dak this year, other than the Cleveland game, it didn't look right. I don't think he needs to call plays. Period. Amen, Janie. Amen. D'Anthony says, just got a new subscriber. Appreciate you. He said, we'll be ready next year as long as we have all the pieces injury-free. And I do think, appreciate you, D'Anthony Dudes. I do think, based on, I've been saying this, and I'm sticking to it. I believe the Dallas Cowboys win the chip in 2026. Next year, they're going to get some players in the draft, but they got a lot of building to do, y'all. They have an absolute lot of building to do. And I'm going to show you this in a moment. I'm going to skip over some other things, and I'll bring those back tomorrow. But they have a lot of things that they need to do. And the problem is they got a lot of players to sign. Even though the Cowboys are going to be able to get like $100-something million in cap space when they flip the switch on Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb's contract, maybe even Trayvon Diggs. They'll probably do something with Terrence Steele, whether it be a cut, and they'll probably do something with the two safeties. They'll probably let them go. They're going to accumulate a lot of salary cap space, but they have literally 30 positions to fill. That is crazy. So this team's going to look totally different next year. But I do believe they're going to do something in the draft. I mean, I think they're going to do good in the draft, especially with where they are in the draft, thankfully. And I think for some strange reason, they're going to make a couple of plays next year in free agency. One maybe in free agency, one at the trade deadline, and then we'll get the next draft after that, and we'll bring in some more players. I think 2026 is the chip. I think 2026 is going to be the chip. P-Funk, Cowboys when I went to the Super Bowl, Jerry Jones. Well, let's hope that's not true. Troy said Jimmy just knew how to get in every place. Yeah. I had a guy tell me one time, Troy, when I used to be in retail management, I had a guy, he gave me some really good advice. He said, hey, George, let me tell you something. He said, it's easier to come into this thing or come into management or come into a new store. It's easier to come in as a jerk and then become the good guy than it is to come in as the good guy and become a jerk. See, if you come in as a jerk and you come in and you aid, Dr. Myers cross them T's, pick that up off the floor. We're going to get these numbers. Everybody execute. Do this, do that, do that. And people are so afraid. That person kind of gets in their head, hey, man, you know what? My job is on the line. This dude expects perfection. And then when you achieve success, then you start showing people your personality. You keep the same expectations. You've built that accountability. You've built that mentality. Now you can start showing your personality. Now you can start joking around a little bit while still keeping all those same expectations. You can help people while still keeping all those expectations. You can do those things. But if you come in as the good guy and you let people slide on this and you let people slide on that, give people excuses for this, give people excuses for that, and then when they start coming down and breathing on your neck from the top down, and then you go to these same people who you've been letting get away with this and be off when they want to, and all of a sudden, hey, things about to change around here. People start looking at you sideways. I don't like him no more. I don't like her no more. She used to be cool. She ain't cool no more. I got something for her. They do you like that when you come in as the good guy. And so it's harder to get in folks' head like that. But man, let me tell you something. Jimmy came in as a jerk. Straight up jerk. Oh, things gonna be different around here. He was a part of this thing. The way Landry was doing things, Jimmy was a part of. We ain't doing it like that no more. Things are changing around here. Jimmy brought that in too. That's Jane Slater back there, Sonny? Okay, I didn't think that was Jane Slater. Because of the tone of the voice. Man, that's Jane Slater, boy. She is slaughtering. She is slaughtering back there, Sonny. I thought it was somebody else. Yeah, better have a deal by the 14th. Mike better take every interview. He better. It gives him leverage. He better. Freddie says as soon as McCarthy's deal is done on the 14th, Jerry has zero leverage over McCarthy. I'm telling you, Freddie, because to re-sign him, he's going to have to give up some things. Jerry Jones is an ESPN troll. Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp want Mike McCarthy gone. Boy, don't they know? Don't they know? Jenny says Jerry Jones needs to watch himself. God don't like ugly. Hey, Jenny, let me tell you. Wait, let me finish reading what you said. Jerry Jones needs to watch himself. God don't like ugly. He is pushing the button. Mike McCarthy know when to double step on. Let me tell you something. So, Jenny, one time I had this lady's son. Working for me. And we were talking about something pertaining to him. And I told her, I said, hey, you know God don't like ugly, don't you? Because this lady was really rude. I said, you know God don't like ugly, don't you? She said, he ain't too crazy about pretty either. I just started laughing. She said he ain't too crazy about pretty either. So, yeah, but I get exactly what you're saying. Kevin said this is the stuff you have to deal with being the head coach for the Cowboys. Yep, it is, Kevin. Cruder said Jerry's the two bus taking Micah to the game. I know it. You talking about to the Texas Longhorns game. That is crazy. He said Jerry too busy taking Dude, he too busy taking Micah to the game on Friday. Man, Micah is crazy. See, Dak wouldn't do this stuff. Micah shouldn't be doing it. Micah gonna find out the hard way, though, about Jerry. Pete Funk said Jerry Jones is a hypocrite. Yeah, it's crazy what he's talking about. He says, by the way, Jerry's insisting on speaking every time there's a microphone around is part of the problem. Yes, a big part. Do something instead of talking. And this is part of the story that Dave Onestad was telling, because he was like, after Jerry said what he said to Troy, he said all of a sudden, he said they're moving chairs around. And Jimmy says, what's going on? Jerry's about to have a press conference. See, Jerry started that stuff. In that Jimmy era. He started it then. And so we might not realize it, but the rift was already starting. Yeah, Freddie, yeah. See, that's why I say the Bears is talking to everybody, man. Yeah, Jerry Cruder, he loves it. To Jerry, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Yeah, he's not under contract after the 14th. Robert is, yeah, he's different, ain't he? Yeah, okay, because I was going to say, I didn't think that was Jane Slater. It said, sound like Aisha. I'm going to have to look that up because, see, this lady, I've noticed, she is at the, I never see her, but that voice, it's kind of a little bit deep, and I'm like, who is this lady? Because she's always cold crushing on Jerry Jones. Might be Jane Slater, but I want to check out and see who that is. Jerry has no idea what he's talking about. Problem is he does. We just don't know. Problem is, Dank, we don't know what he's talking about. Jerry crazy, man. Jerry knows exactly what he's talking about, man. He be on some other stuff. Dank, he's under contract with the boys to the 14th. Yeah, that stuff Jerry talking about is dumb, man. Kelvin Bryant says Jerry was a two-faced man. Lost my respect the way he did Landry and Jimmy Johnson. Hey, look how he doing Mike. Kelvin, this cannot be the same man who was talking like he was about Mike McCarthy. I mean, every week, man, Jerry was talking about Mike McCarthy, how good he is, Super Bowl winning. I mean, Super Bowl winning, playoff winning, Aaron Rodgers quarterback winning. I mean, every week, man, he up in here like Ric Flair. All of a sudden, last game when he says the hay is in the barn. All of my fans would like everybody to be on the incentive plan. Man, who your fans? The devil? Because I ain't heard nobody, I ain't heard even the media folk talking like that. People, he said Jerry Jones need to be drug tested. Man, Jerry be tripping, man. He has no idea what football talent is. And the problem is, Jerry wants to do it his way. He does. He just wants to do it his way. And that tolerance of ambiguity statement, shoo, man, everybody better be on alert. Somebody asked Jerry what type of dress he wants on that word salad. He says, "How Jerry 20 million plus." He says, "How is this, Jerry? 20 million plus incentives." All right, let me read a super chat here. Somebody bless me with a super chat. Appreciate your Deuce Falco. Super chat $10. I'm a Rams fan, but appreciate your takes. Oh man, hey, I'm gonna be talking about the playoffs. I'm gonna be talking about the playoffs starting Thursday. So make sure you tune back in, Deuce. We're gonna be talking about this this playoffs, man. I gotta cover these playoffs. We have a vested interest. I want all you Cowboy fans to understand something. I told y'all this early in the season. Now I'm doubling down on this, and I'm glad. Y'all see why? I told y'all. Before I even heard these statements, I told y'all, Jerry can't be successful in this. If Jerry would have been successful in what he tried to pull off, Jerry would have been talking to those owners year after year, month after month. You see what I did? You see what I did? Tolerance and ambiguity. All the coaches on 1 year deal. I mean, last year the deals, 1 year deals on some, incentives and all. Hey, man, I'm glad he failed. I'm glad he failed. We could not let him win with this mad experiment. No, Jerry, get your butt in free agency and pay somebody. We're not asking you to build a whole team in free agency, man, but you got to play in free agency. You got to use all of your resources in this league to win. You got to do something at the trade deadline. It don't mean you in free agency, Jerry. You don't have to go and spend money on the top guy. But maybe at least on the second day. Don't wait until nothing but scraps left on the table, crumbs left on the table, and you hoping to hit. No, man. Go in there and look at what your team needs. Okay, we can use that. We need that on our team. Stop saying, hey, man, we like the guys we have. Hey, man, everybody that you have. Everybody that you have is not good, man. Sometimes you need to look at a position and say, okay, we might need to improve right here. Maybe we need some depth right here. Maybe we need somebody to push somebody right here. Man, you got to work all these avenues, and Jerry don't want to do it, but he's going to have to do something this year. B-Bird said while he competes against teams that don't have an incentive-laden contracts, where will the players and coaches go? Exactly. They're going to go to those teams. I mean, they're going to go to those teams. I mean, because unless you can guarantee, and Jerry is saying he doesn't understand, it's an oxymoron because the crazy thing is Jerry knows this. The reason why people don't want to, see, I'm one of these people, I don't gamble. I used to do that before I came into Christ. I don't do that stuff no more. I realized something about gambling. it's not designed for you to win. The chances of winning are very slim. You actually, like, people do not understand, man, gambling. Now, some people say every now and then they do it for fun. Okay, long as you understand that it's for fun. But I would not condone it. It's not something you should do. But understand, you're taking a huge chance when you gamble. And it's more a chance of you losing than winning. That's why you would be better off just working for your money or finding something that you do very well and then you monetize it and you make a lot of money off it, because if it's based on what you love to do and if it's based on what you can do well, the skill that you have and the demand that people have for it, it's not a gamble. It's a sure deal almost. People are going to buy it. People are going to buy a service that you provide if it's good. They are. They're going to pay for that product. But gambling, man, it's not a way to go. And Jerry is tripping on this stuff, man. Tripping with this. Sunny Day said exactly, this is nuts. He causes chaos, ruining talented careers. And then skates untouched. I'm telling you, man, it's crazy talk what he's saying. Just Rob, this is the most of the problem with the NFL, agreed by everyone involved. Hey, man, it is what it is. It's a football business. We can love it or hate it, Just Rob. I said it the other day, man, the football business, it's the part I hate. But it's a football business. And that's why when you talk football, you got to talk business too. Because everything isn't just about football. It's about business. Freddie said something a few weeks ago. It's actually their job to get players as cheap as they can. I mean, that's what they're doing. And a lot of teams, if you look at teams who are really trying to win, though, they don't share that philosophy. The teams that are trying to win, you'll notice what they'll do every 2 or 3 years. They always try to pick a moment every 2 to 3 years to where they go for it all. They push see, Jerry's all in is different than everybody else's all in. See, the Philadelphia Eagles this year, you know what they did? They went all in. They paid the quarterback. They paid the wide receivers. They paid other players. They've already paid, they paid Saquon Barkley. They pushed all the chips in the middle of the table. You know what the Detroit Lions did? They paid the quarterback. They went and got him running backs. They paid the running backs. They paid the wide receivers. They still got a few more things to do on defense. But for the most part, they paid players to put it around the quarterback and they pushed them chips all the way in. They didn't say, man, we like the players that we have. No, we're going to add to the players that we have. The Minnesota Vikings, people don't realize it. Even Sam Darnold being the backup, being paid as much as he was to back up J.J. McCarthy with Aaron Jones. Players they got in the draft, players, whatever, free agency. Look at the Minnesota Vikings. They went all in. They pushed them chips in. Green Bay Packers, they're in the process, all in. Paid the quarterback, got Nick Chubb. They're still putting some pieces together, but they're in the process of pushing them chips in the middle of the field, of the table. Baltimore Ravens, y'all know what they did? Hey, man, let's go get Derrick Henry. Push them chips all in. This is what teams are doing. This is what teams are doing. And I'm telling y'all, if the Kansas City Chiefs mess around and win and lose the Super Bowl, if they lose the Super Bowl, I will not be surprised if they go and put them chips all back in the middle of the table. You know how? I wouldn't be surprised. Everybody's talking about the Cowboys are a 3-1 favorite to get the Miami Dolphins. I don't know where they get that from. We are not paying Tyreek Hill. We're not paying Tyreek Hill. I don't know where we get this from. We're not paying Tyreek Hill. I will not be surprised if the Kansas City Chiefs push them chips all in and bring Tyreek Hill back. If I was Tyreek Hill done got paid. Tyreek Hill has won Super Bowls. But if I can go somewhere and I don't have to give up a whole lot of money, but if I can give up a few million, let's say I go to a state where there's tax, and I don't know what Kansas City is as far as their state tax, but if I'm Tyreek Hill, I'd be willing to go back to Kansas City. Oh, I'd be willing to go back. I'd be willing to go back to play with Patrick Mahomes. I would be willing to go back. See, he got a lot of money now. He got a whole lot of money now. It's about winning the chips, winning some more chips now. He got a whole lot of money. But if he don't want to, hey, and I'm not going to hate on him if he don't want to give up the money. But me, man, I would go back to Kansas City because these teams are going to be trying to. This is why I'm going to be following very closely. We saw the Rams do it. They went all in one season. All in. Matthew Stafford. They got the kid from Dallas. I forgot his name, the linebacker. I mean, they had all of these players on the team for what? One Super Bowl season. One Super Bowl season. And they got it. I mean, they're paying the piper now. But they got it. Y'all tell me, what do you think? What would you do? Would you rather every 4 years, would you rather go 10-6? So it'd be 10-7 now. Would you rather go 10-7, 11-6, 9-7, win the Super Bowl, 10-6, 11-6, 10-7, 11-6, 9-7, win the Super Bowl? Would you rather be on a cycle like that, or would you rather do what we're doing? And we strung together 3 12-win seasons and no Super Bowl in 28 years. Which one would you rather do? I'm telling you, I would rather have every 3 to 4 seasons where I'm going all in. All in. I'll lose some players after I win the Super Bowl. I'll lose a couple here, a couple of there, but then I'll build right back up after I get out of those contracts, and I'll get it right back in again, and I'll go all in again in that third or fourth season, and I would keep trying to win like that. See, Jerry wants to build a dynasty some kind of way, but you can't build a dynasty letting go of depth. And you can't build a dynasty only building through the draft. Jerry should know this because that's not how he built the Cowboys in the 90s. They did it through the draft. They did it through trades. They did it through free agency. They did all 3 aspects of the game, and they won big. You can't reverse on this. You can't. Appreciate your Deuce Falco. Let me go down a little bit further here. Let me see here. I hadn't seen Niecy in the crib tonight. Tony Simmons, get your act together, Jane. is that Jane, Tony? Man, I'm telling you. Maybe she's talking, her voice is a little deeper. Man, she clowning, man. She is clowning out there. Clowning. She really is. Jamie, what's going on? That's Jane Slater. Okay, that's Jane Slater. Man, Jane is slaughtering out there, man. She slaughtered him. Every time he talks crazy, she always on his road. Jane be out there fearless, man. She is fearless out there. Sonny says, you know, Jerry is seething. Boy, I know it too. You can look at his face, couldn't you, Sonny Dave? Boy, he was hot when Jane answered them questions. Did that answer your question? Did that answer your question? Jane said, no, I got another one. Man, Jerry, you just stepping in it. You better stop trying to go toe-to-toe with this woman. She killing it. I'm telling you, man, you better recognize something. Any man who married, man, you have to understand something. Boy, you don't want to go toe-to-toe with your wife, man. Not with them word games. Man, sometimes you just got to know when to hold them and to know when to fold them. I love when she called Jerry out. I do too. Man, he better learn something. Yeah, she getting to the nitty-gritty. She better learn something. She better learn. Appreciate your dudes. Andre said you're so right. Quinn Scott, greedy people get to become their own worst enemy. Yeah. And it's so funny, Quinn, that Jerry doesn't want the players to be greedy. This was the same stuff that was happening in the NCAA. They didn't want the players to be greedy, their families to be greedy. They didn't want those people all involved who really bringing in the money to be greedy, but they're being greedy. They're getting all the money. They're getting all the money. But then complain when somebody wants a morsel. It's crazy talk. This is crazy talk. He said he looked that word up beforehand. Man, I'm telling you, Jerry be making up stuff, bro. That tolerance of ambiguity. Jerry make up stuff. I'm telling you, Andre. Jerry be making up stuff, man. He full of it. Andre said he full of it. Yeah, that's Jane. Okay, that's Jane. Hey, Ken. I see what you did there, Ken. I see what you did there. Her name is Jane Slaughter, because that's exactly what she doing. I did not know that was Jane Slater, because typically when I hear her talk on interviews, that's okay. Jane Slater. Jane killing it. Robert says Jerry is hoping McCarthy makes it easy for him and leaves on the 14th. I don't know, Robert. We're going to see. We're going to see who about to blink. Somebody about to blink. Somebody is going to blink. And I wonder who it is. Somebody going to blink. But I do think I don't really know at this point, what does it mean? What does it mean that Jerry turned down? Let me see here. Mike said he was going to write about it tonight, so I want to see what his take was on it also. Okay, maybe this is today. Let's see what Mike said on this. Okay. All right. Let's look at this real quick, guys, and I'll come back to some more comments. I appreciate all the comments. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Man, we're gonna do some big things on this channel. We're gonna do some big things on this channel going into next season. Got a lot of things playing in the offseason also. For all of us diehard Dallas Cowboy fans, some things. I'm going to do some blasts from the past, man. It's going to be some great stuff. I didn't do the membership thing this season because I couldn't. I'm trying to get the call-in thing fixed or get it to working. I still haven't been able to get it to work. But I want to test that out on you guys before I open up the memberships and start doing a whole lot of other things as far as the membership incentives. But I want to be able to make a part of this show going forward. I want to spend some of this time of call-in shows so I can hear some of you guys' voices and some of you guys who will become members. I want to hear your voices, and I think that'll be neat. And I got something else planned that no one else is doing, but I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet. But when I do open it up in the membership, I think some of you are going to really, really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. It's going to be a totally different experience than what I've seen anybody else doing as far as guests or people in the chat calling in on the shows. Got some big plans. So y'all keep on rocking with me, keep supporting, keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. So let's see what Mike Fisher said here. He said he was going to write about this. Let's see if he shares some of my sentiments. Let's see here. I also plan to, I will in the next few months, I will also have my own website, and I'll be writing articles also on some of these things going on in Cowboy land with my own takes based on the facts as I see them. All right, so Fish says, Cowboys make clear decision on Mike McCarthy after Bears interview request. It's amazing how sometimes people in relationships, they find out somebody else wants you. You ever seen how somebody act when they find out somebody else wants you? Like they surprised. All of a sudden, boy, they start pulling out all the stops. We're going to see what Jerry does. Says the Chicago Bears are on the hunt for their next head coach following a 5-12 finish to the 2024 NFL regular season. The Bears fired now former head coach Matt Eberflus after a 4-8 start to the Bears' 2024 campaign. Offensive coordinator Thomas Brown was then elevated to interim head coach, where he finished out the year with a 1-4 record. He ain't going to be the coach. The Bears have requested to interview several coaching options, including Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. On Tuesday, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys franchise denied the Bears' request per ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter. Doesn't that sound different than go talk? I don't want anybody to be here who don't want to be here. Go talk. Why didn't he let Mike McCarthy turn the interview down? Mike got a little bit of leverage there, but we'll see how this goes. It says this decision could indicate that the Cowboys plan to retain Mike McCarthy as their head coach moving forward, despite an overwhelmingly disappointing 2024 season. But Mike McCarthy can go into the Joneses and argue. Mike McCarthy has a legitimate argument from this perspective. He's only had 2 losing seasons since he's been with the Cowboys. Guess what happened in both of them? Dak Prescott had freak accidents in both of them. Both of them. Ankle twisted off the bone in one of the seasons. Hamstring ripped partially off the bone in the last season. Those have been the only 2 losing seasons. The only 2 losing seasons. Mike McCarthy could actually make this. So the disappointment, I still say some of it was things that Mike could control, and he didn't control them. Play calling, situational football, refusing to run the ball. This team running the ball as limited. I mean, what is the lack of depth and the problems that we had? This team still could have probably went to the playoffs. Had it stayed healthy, it still probably could have went to the playoffs. Even with some of the crazy things that Mike was doing. I mean, it is what it is. Mike could actually make some of those arguments. The Dallas Cowboys denied permission to the Chicago Bears to interview their head coach, Mike McCarthy. Schefter reported on Tuesday evening. And there is the tweet. I guess it's the tweet. We can't call it the X. The X or the tweet. Dallas Cowboys denied permission to the Chicago Bears to interview their head coach, Mike McCarthy. Isn't it strange? It's not how Jerry was talking to Jane Slaughter. The Cowboys' decision to deny Bears' interview request aligns with some post-game comments made by Jones after the team's Week 18 loss to the division rival Washington Commanders. Mike is one of the best coaches that I think there is, Jones said Sunday. He was made the coach here because I thought that. He's done absolutely nothing to diminish my opinion of him. Must be later on in the interview. As a coach, and I'm really impressed with the way the players identify and are inside with him. That's important because he's had some times when each of those players individually as well as a team have not been fun times. He's been there for them. So now, you remember what I said? That's the part, and I knew it. That's the part of Mike McCarthy that they like. And what I'm hearing, father figure. That's what I'm hearing. Father figure. That's what they like. He's a father figure. Now, I have no problems with that. But you're going to have to ask yourself a question. Is this a sympathy game? Or are you trying to win Super Bowls? Do you want a father figure? Or do you want to win Super Bowls? Do you want a Super Bowl winning coach? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm crazy. I just don't remember people calling Jimmy Johnson a father figure. I don't remember people saying these types of things about Jimmy Johnson. I don't remember people saying stuff like this. You know why people love Jimmy Johnson? Accountability. He didn't let nobody slack. Accountability. And he won. People respect that. People respect success. People respect consistency. There is one thing I can't stand is when people are a respecter of persons. I can't stand when people are one way with certain people and one way with other people. But I love when you get folk, they are consistent in how they deal with folk. Very consistent. And when they're consistent, you know what you're going to get. And when they're consistent, it breeds a mentality. It breeds accountability. And those type of people, man, you'll be surprised. Some of the people in your life who you had the hardest time with in the beginning, man, it's strange how them people, man, they'll bring the absolute best out of you. They'll bring it out of you. Because, see, it's a difference in, I'm going to show this joker. I'm going to show this joker how good I am. I'm going to show him who I am. I'm worthy. I'm worth being here. I'm going to show him I'm the best at this. Versus, yeah, man, that's my dog right there, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I do what I can for him, man. You know what I'm saying? I do what I can for him. And even when I fail, man, he just pat me up on the back, man. Tell me just get up and try again, do better, blah, blah, blah. Hey, man, it's a difference. It's a difference. It is. And so we're going to see how this continues to go. Says McCarthy is 49-35 since taking on the Cowboys head coach before the 2020 season. Over those 5 seasons at the helm, Dallas has made it past the wild card round on just one occasion. The Bears can still interview McCarthy after his exclusive negotiating window with Dallas expires on January the 14th. And I got a video that I'm going to drop tonight talking about another issue, and that is none other than Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is, of course, out there free. And the thing about Doug Peterson doesn't have the regular season record per se that Mike McCarthy has. But you know what he does have? Mike McCarthy is 1-3 in the postseason with the Cowboys. Well, and he has a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers. But Doug Peterson has a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. With Nick Foles, he's 5-3 in the postseason. He's 5-3 in the postseason. Maybe we ought to consider, and I'm not saying we should hire him. Y'all tell me what you think. Maybe we should look at Doug Peterson. And at the very least, maybe we should be looking at Doug Peterson as a possibility as a offensive coordinator here. Because I just don't think that and I just wonder how Mike is going to take this, because I think that Jerry, when he talks to him, he needs to make sure that Mike is under the clear understanding that when we bring in the OC, you don't get to influence or tell him what to call. We want you to be the head coach of the team because the team seems to like you. So we're going to put you in that figurehead role. But watch this. Jerry is going to have some weird leverage here. Y'all tell me what you think. So if Mike McCarthy is getting paid $4 million to be the head coach and the OC, how much does he deserve to get paid being the head coach only? Do you pay him the same amount and say now you have a raise because you have less responsibility, same amount of money? Or do you pay him more money to not be the OC and let somebody else call the plays? This is things they're going to have to discuss. They're going to have to discuss these things. And so I think this is a very good question in the grand scheme of things. It is. DJ Bruce Wayne, he says the league ought to strip him of his ownership. You know why they're not going to do it? This is the part of Jerry Jones I love. The Netflix deal. Who you think got that? Who do we think has been a part of these Netflix, Amazon, sponsorships, all of these deals you're seeing seeing the league has? Who do you think is a part of the team that is orchestrating these things? Nobody finds it strange that, We got the NFL on Netflix. And Jerry Jones is going to have his own special on Netflix next season. Jerry Jones has made this league absolutely rich. Rich. And because Bruce Wayne, he's made him rich. You notice none of these other owners do none of the stuff Jerry does? No, they let Jerry do all that. Why nobody else does it? They let Jerry do all that. No other owner is doing this stuff. No one finds it strange that the other owners, they don't come out publicly and say Jerry shouldn't do what he does. You never hear it behind closed doors. The owners are mad at Jerry Jones. No one finds that strange. Nobody's told Jerry, hey man, shut up, sit down. No other owners told him that. You want to know why they're not telling him that? Jerry got these people's pockets fat. This league changed when Jerry bought the Cowboys. This league changed. The television presentation, check. The spaceship football stadiums. Do y'all know who brought that in? Jerry Jones. The souped up practice facilities. Who you think brought that in? Jerry Jones. The television popularity. The TV deals. Jerry Jones. I love that part of Jerry Jones. The part of Jerry Jones I don't like is the part of Jerry Jones who thinks he's the smartest man in the room, and so he should be owner/GM and part-time coach, part-time motivational speaker. I mean, man, Jerry Jones be on one. He wears way too many hats. And I said this earlier in the season. It seems to me Jerry Jones does certain things to the Cowboys for the benefit of this league. For the benefit of this league. While all the other teams are focused on winning totally, Jerry is steady working deals and bringing more attention to the NFL. Jerry is a part of all of this stuff you see. Expansion all over the world. Jerry got his fingerprints on all this stuff. Now, they're not going to strip him of his ownership. They love Jerry Jones on that stuff. Kevin says Mike McCarthy is 100% gone. Jerry Jones will follow his ESPN buddies. We gonna see. We gonna see. Cowboy Star said he wants to put all the risk on the coach and none on him. Exactly. When you go into the gambling house, the reality is the risk. you the one got everything to lose. They got all the money. And for every time you win, there's 100,000 other people losing. They raking in money hand over fist. I don't care how much you get them for. And you mess around and win too much at the blackjack table, they come out the back on you. Hey, what's up? Why you winning like this? They never ask you why you're losing like this. They never ask you why you're losing all this money. They start asking you why you winning all this money. What you doing? Oh, you in here counting cards. So hold on a second. So you telling me that I can't have a memory so good that I can look at how many cards and what cards are being played when the faces are turned up. So I can't count cards, huh? I can't come up with a scheme to win, which should actually be, there actually should be nothing wrong with it, because if you just got that kind of memory, I can't do that. You ever notice they never ask you why you're losing? Get to winning. They'll come out there back on you. They're not in there. They're not in there, and they're not in it to lose. They're in it to win. And this is what Jerry wants to create. Jerry wants to create this in the league. The house always win. You better believe it, Robert Hill. Dank said $250K. Others said, well, don't do that no more. It didn't work. It didn't. It didn't work, and I'm glad. I'm glad it didn't work. I'm glad it, because if it would have worked, man, these players would have been fighting. They'd have been fighting tooth and nail. You would see what you're seeing with the Cowboys with every team. Andre, he's the owner that wants the owners to win, not the player. That's why he came up with the salary cap. Because Jerry knew all the money he was about to start raking in. And Jerry's like, hey, man, we don't want these players to have all this money. We got to make sure that we're getting most of the money with no risk. Gandalf Pipe says, Jerry on Bill Gates time. Better believe it. He's straight up on Bill Gates time. Straight up. Oh, Freddie, don't worry. I don't care what he get caught red-handed with. They've had opportunities if they wanted to go a witch hunt on Jerry. I mean, man, hey, man, everybody know. Hey, all I'm going to say is this. Me and my uncle, we were laughing about it. When it came up to Jerry Jones over there on Harry Hines, anybody in this DFW area, we know what Harry Hines is. We know what Harry Hines is. There ain't no reason for Jerry to be over in that area. You don't go to that area. You don't go to that area for no reason. Nah, man. Nah, we know. But nah, they're not going to try to catch Jerry in nothing. They love Jerry. Yeah, sound like Jerry trying to bring back slavery. I'm awake said his mind is not on football. That's it. Jerry's about bringing in them dollars, man. Kevin said it was Cooper Rush. I would have been crazy about my money. Man, Kevin, I don't know if you saw the video I did about it, but I showed the comparison. Jerry said after the game, he didn't know nothing about Cooper Rush's bonus until he read about it. But on Friday, they literally brought up Cooper Rush's bonus situation. So how does Jerry say he didn't know about it? And when did he read about it? Jerry, you not only read about it, somebody told you about it on Friday. I find it hard to believe. And if Cooper Rush didn't say something to somebody about $500,000, well, it's his fault. But I bet you this, Kevin, I got $500,000 on the line. All the other players did it on the other teams. I mean, they literally had graphs on the games showing the players how many catches, how many tackles, how many sacks, whatever they needed to get those bonuses. And you telling me that Cooper Rush wasn't wise enough to say, hold on a second. I was shocked when I didn't see his picture on there. But of course I knew it wasn't going to be on there after they said he wasn't going to start. I thought that was crazy. I do. Jerry Jones, but he ain't. Yeah, I like Jerry Jones too. He ain't right. He know he ain't right. Jerry need to keep some of them thoughts to himself. Kevin said it was screwing Rush. It was Kevin. I said the same thing in the video. Man, come on, Jerry. I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it. And as much as I said I would have rather saw Trey Lance, I said it in the video. As much as I would have rather saw Trey Lance at that midpoint come in when Dak got hurt, Cooper Rush did a good job. He did. He did a good job. He did exactly what a backup you expect him to do. You hope they go 500. He went 500. That's what he did. And so for me, if I could have, I would have tried to figure out a way for him to get the bonus. Because at the end of the day, even though I felt like Trey Lance redeemed himself, it's amazing. Mike Fisher don't think he did. I thought he redeemed himself. I just think the Cowboys should have figured out a way for Cooper Rush to try to get that bonus. To get that bonus. But somebody said, I think it was Jay Recruiter said that James Slater had reported that it would have took like some 80 plays for him to get it. And Cam Newton said it on his show. Cam Newton said, man, if you come up one, if it's for you to get 50, or let's say you need 25 more catches, or let's say you need 10 more catches. He said, if you come up one catch short, you don't get it. If you need 95 yards, or you need 5 yards, and you get 4, you don't get it. He said they're that strict on those things. He did. Yeah, I saw Santiago. Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah, he denied him. OMG, the more I hear him talking, Janie said the world is watching this and consider this man needs to be put out of the pasture. But Janie, you know the crazy part? This is why Michael Parsons got to stop talking. People think he crazy right along with him. Has anybody not been paying attention to Michael Parsons? Hey, man, you take them 5 touchdowns off the board. I mean, we don't, if we take them off the board, but you can't. Man, you take them 5 big plays off the board, the 5 touchdowns, them 5 big plays, they don't win. But you can't, Mike. Do you hear what you're saying? He sounds like Jerry when he talks sometimes. Other than that, we made him earn everything. Mike, can I help you? This is actually how most teams lose. Teams make big plays. A lot of the times, if you're watching a game, teams win on chunk plays. They may be mediocre. I mean, they might be, the quarterback might be throwing 5, 10-yard passes. Longest pass may be 12, 13 yards. And then out of nowhere, second quarter, boom, bust a big one. He might throw it 15 yards. We've seen this with CeeDee Lamb. We've seen it with Jamar Chase. We've seen it with Justin Jefferson. Quarterback throws it 15 yards. He runs another 40. We count it as a 55-yard pass. But it's a chunk play. And you get a lot of times. This is really how teams lose. Think about how the Philadelphia Eagles have been beating teams. Saquon Barkley has the most explosive plays by a running back in the league. He's probably leading the league in explosive plays. And if not, he's probably close. That's how they're beating teams. Teams get beat by explosive plays. But, man, he's starting to sound like Jerry with that kind of talk. Fred Trejo, please post her name when you find out who she is. Yeah, it's Jane Slater, Trejo. Yeah, that's Jane Slater. Yeah. I just didn't recognize her voice because it sounded different being in that press conference thing. He knew about Rush. I'm telling you, Cowboy Star, I reported this same thing in the video, man. They literally asked Jerry about the bonus. Jerry said he didn't know it. That's why you better get your money, man. Freddie says, look, Jerry ain't going nowhere. No, he ain't going nowhere. No, I like Jerry, but he got to get. And at the end of the day, this is why Jerry, he's got to get the players because they got to overcome some of the things he does, and they're going to have to overcome Mike McCarthy too and some of the things he does if they re-sign him. Hypocrites, Jerry and Robert Kraft each own individually just under 5% of the DraftKings. Think about that for a minute. Making that money. P-Funk, college and NFL corrupt. I'm telling you. Gee, you are on point, but most people miss everything that you're saying. Appreciate you. I'm just telling the facts when I see it. Big Pat says he will never keep players with that Trump mess. Man, I'm telling you, man. Jerry got a different way of thinking, man. Wilson Santiago. Jerry making a player think they can actually get to the Super Bowl. Man, Jerry is tripping so hard, Wilson Santiago, in saying that get to the Super Bowl and I'll pay you. Where they do that at? You get to the Super Bowl and we pay you? Hey, man, you get to the Super Bowl, we going to get gone because we ain't got that in writing. We ain't put that in writing. Man, no, Big Pat 56, man, no. Because how do the agents get paid? Man, these agents ain't going for that nonsense. Dank said the education 6 it was lacking in the shows. Man, Robert said, have you ever noticed while the media leaks notable FA free agents to Dallas, rather do you actual? Robert, man, this is one of the ploys of a lot of free agents. Their agents leak the Cowboys are interested and the value of the free agent goes up. This is why this thing with Tyreek Hill is comedy to me. Tyreek Hill 3-1 to the Cow. Stop it. We're not bringing Tyreek Hill in here. Jerry loves CeeDee Lamb. He just signed CeeDee Lamb. I just don't think he's going to bring nobody in like that. I don't. Dank said nobody's going to want to play here. We got to do better. It's not a good look for Jerry. It's not. He don't care. Niecy, what's going on? Hey, G, in the chat, I'm here for another episode of the Cowboys. As the Cowboys turn. That's what it is. Let the drama begin. Let the drama begin. I'm telling you. Yep, Cowboy fan for life. You better ask Cooper Rush about them incentives. Shoot, man. I'm telling you, boy, Jerry is a trip. Jerry is a trip. What's going on, Jeanette? Jerry is a trip with this stuff. Dank said, if Tyreek is not happy in Miami, how do you think he's going to feel here? And you think about this. Tyreek don't fit into no doggone West Coast offense. He don't fit into no West Coast. I think if they keep Mike McCarthy, I'm not going to be crying about it, but if they keep him, they better bring in a play caller. Jerry out here selling media exposure, the star on the helmet and the unicorn dust. You better believe it. Man, Jerry trying to sell them things. Michael needs to talk to D-Law about them. Big Pat. Big Pat. You better talk. You better. Hey, man, Steven sat down with D-Law. It was a wrap. That's why D-Law said this year he wasn't playing hurt. He said, forget that. Jerry's trying to. Oh, man, y'all killing me with these comments, man. I think Kellen is Jerry fallback coach. You know what? People been talking about Kellen Moore. They have. They've been talking about Kellen Moore. I'm tripping, but I'm shocked, but they've been talking about Kellen Moore. Ty Church said, I think Big Mike just needs to be a football head coach, not a play caller. And the question is this, Ty Church. Will he do it? Will he do it? Because, again, can they justify paying him more money if he's just a head coach? Woo, boy, I'm telling you. Jerry, man, Jerry is about to trip on these boys. Andre, he's not Phil Jackson. Nah. Jerry Jones is what Native Americans call us. He's saying what Native Americans call a snake charmer. Oh, man, you're killing me. Kelly probably wouldn't come back here. I think he would, Cowboy star. You know why? Because he would get to be head coach. And then once you get in that fraternity, then you can stay in that fraternity. Mike McCarthy allows all the BS to go. Yep. That's been one of my problems, Andre. Mike McCarthy has become the ultimate yes man for Jerry Jones. David Bousquet, appreciate you. He said your Trey Lance video was spot on. I love every second of it. Too bad Trey only really got the last game. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. But I tell you this. I think Trey Lance may have played himself somewhere. Man, you know what? Stop the press. You know what's crazy? I talked about the whole issue of Trey Lance going to the Raiders. Y'all might not remember this. I said this a few weeks ago, and I played a video of Deion Sanders. Him and Antonio Pierce was at some gala or something like that. And I don't know if y'all remember, but I told y'all, I said, Antonio Pierce does not realize it, but Deion Sanders is probably going to be the next coach at the Raiders. Because at the time, it looked like that they were going to be in position to get Shedeur Sanders. Well, I'm not sure. You know, and let's look at this just for a second. I'm going to tell you something that's absolutely crazy that may shock a lot of folk. And we're going to see how it turn out. But when you look at the draft, boy, they got the timer on here now, boy. The nightmare is almost over, y'all. We're going to be in the draft. We're going to have our coach, I believe, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then we're going to be talking about the draft. But let's see. We got Tennessee, Cleveland, the Giants, New England, Jacksonville, and the Raiders. So the question becomes, will Tennessee get Shador? And you know what? I don't know what's going to happen with Cleveland. I don't know if y'all heard Deshaun Watson had another setback. Deshaun Watson has 2 more years left on a guaranteed deal. Deshaun Watson may not play next year or this year again. Deshaun Watson has an Achilles issue that they didn't see post surgery. Now he has an Achilles issue post surgery. Cleveland Browns Deshaun Watson's contract is going to be a cautionary tale and a reason why NFL players are never going to get fully guaranteed contracts again. Deshaun Watson is going to get the $230 million guaranteed and hardly ever even play for the Cleveland Browns. He is probably going to miss the entire season again this year. And next year will be his last year of the deal. And he would have gotten $230 million. And you know what? I don't blame him one bit. I blame them doggone Cleveland Browns. Everybody was telling them not to do that deal. Not to do it. And they did it anyway. But I digress. They may be looking for a quarterback. I know the Giants are going to be looking for a quarterback. New England's head coach is gone. I'm not sure. And I'm telling you, New England's third string quarterback, I think he's the third string guy now. Hey, man, some people are going to be knocking on their doors in a couple of years. That kid is good. Jacksonville Jaguars don't need a quarterback. So, Las Vegas Raiders. Could it be possible that the Raiders could still get Shador Sanders? And if Shador Sanders ends up at the Raiders, that we could literally, and I said this, in a couple of years, we could see Shador and Deion Sanders reunited in the league. It wouldn't shock me one bit. It would not shock me one iota. One bit. Deion, I think, has 2 more years on that deal. 2 more years on that deal. Absolutely crazy. And so when you think about this coaching carousel that's going on, Mike McCarthy, if he doesn't sign by next Tuesday, he's going to have some options. He is really going to have some options. Because if the Raiders don't get Deion, well, who are they going to get? Who are they going to get? Because I'm sure it's probably not going to be this season, but I don't know. People still keep talking about Deion Sanders. I've been hearing Deion Sanders again come up with the Cowboys. But who's to say if the Las Vegas Raiders plan on getting Shador Sanders, what if they could? What if they could talk Deion? Even though Deion has already said he don't want no part of the pros. But, man, I'm going to tell you something. Boy, money talks. Money talks, and talking runs a marathon. But I think he's going to have some options. I do. And I think Trey Lance is going to have some options. Because if the Las Vegas Raiders don't get Shador and they don't get Cam Ward, who will they get next? I still say I would take Trey Lance over anybody past Cam Ward. And if I could make some trades, if I could get Trey Lance and get him, hey, man, I get Trey Lance for maybe 3 for 20, 3 for 30, 3 for 40, $25 million guaranteed. Hey, man, I'd be willing to take a chance on Trey Lance and put in a plethora of players around him. And if he don't turn out by year 2, I just draft his replacement in year 3, and I'm ready to go. Man, I'm telling you, I think Trey Lance is going to have a market. I think Trey Lance played his way out of Dallas in one game. I think he played his way out of Dallas in one game. Andre said, I think Mike McCarthy signed somewhere else. Cowboys were the fourth most penalized team this year. Way to go, Mike. He always is in that area. It's what they are allowed to do. Jerry has a team full of zombies that move the way he allows them to move, and they don't even realize it. And one of the zombies, one of the worst ones, is Micah Parsons. He has literally bought into the Jerry juice. He is straight up drinking the Jerry juice. I'm the same way. I think that not only should Jerry wait and see, I think Mike should wait and see. But at the same time, I'll say this. If I'm Mike McCarthy and Jerry don't sign me by next Tuesday, I shut the door on it anyway. I just shut the door on it. I'm not even worried about it. I'm going to shut the door on it. I was just talking about that, Nisi. Las Vegas fired their head coach, but if Mike doesn't change, it will be more the same no matter where he goes. And I got that down here in my notes. Because one of the things I said in my notes is if the Cowboys keep Mike McCarthy, how do you bring change when you're actually not changing? How do you do it? How do you do something different by not doing something different? I don't understand it. He was supposed to do what Trey Lance the last 2 years. They never started him until the last game. I mean, he basically got paid $6 million for nothing. For what? One game in a preseason game? 2026. With Jerry, family, and friends, I said 2036. Yeah, I think it's going to be 2026 for some reason. Freddie said, no one is there to explain to me what is so bad about Jerry talking to the media after the games or before games. How does that affect the outcomes of games? I don't think it's so much as a matter of him talking. I think it's a matter of what he's talking about. You think about what he's done, even in this whole thing with Mike McCarthy. You've talked Mike McCarthy up, only not to sign him. What are you waiting on? And I guess my issue is this, Freddie, and sometimes it's not so much what's wrong, what's right about it. Why are no other owners doing this stuff? Because the person who is in, to me, when you got somebody in the press like he is, they come off as the face of the team. And this is the very thing he was mad about when Jimmy was here. He wanted to be the face of the team and not Jimmy. And so when you're out there like Jerry, it also makes players feel like, well, I just go to the owner when I want something. Because he seems to be, he's in the player meetings. He's coming in the locker room. He's giving speeches after losses, speeches after wins. He's almost like a coach. There has to be some boundaries in this stuff. And I think sometimes Jerry says things about his players, detrimental things that makes them targets for the media. I think some of the Dak Prescott hate, I don't even think it, I know it. Some of the Dak Prescott hate is because of Jerry Jones. Because Jerry Jones out here in the press talking about, we're going to go as far as Dak take us, and this is where he took us. Well, if you're going to attack if you're going to attack your quarterback, Jerry, if you're going to attack your quarterback, then what do you think the media is going to do? If Jerry's going to attack his coach, what does he think the media is going to do? Jerry gives the media license to do some of the things they do. There's no way I would give Stephen A. Smith an interview the way he talks about Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. But what does Jerry do? He gives Stephen Jones an interview. Jerry just talks way too much. And he brings a lot of unwarranted, Freddie. He brings a lot of unwarranted attention to this team. It's detrimental. It is. It hurts. It hurts the team. If your owner talks about you, Freddie, who else? If your owner is taking shots at you, you don't think other people are too? Jerry does a lot of stuff in the media that he shouldn't do, that he just shouldn't do. And even this situation with Mike McCarthy. How does this help the relationship? I mean, if I'm Mike McCarthy, man, I'm looking at Jerry side-eyed, man. Some people just, I don't understand. People think that everything's a game and that you can just play with people and there's no, hey, man, it's just a game. It's just how I sell things. You ever heard somebody say, I don't play like that? I don't play like that. I just need you to mean what you say and say what you mean when it comes to me. I don't need all your bravado and whatever else you're trying to do, man. I ain't got time for that stuff. I just don't have time for it. Bottom line, Mike McCarthy does not put this team in the best position to win. Let him kick rocks. I like Mike. I think he's a father figure. But I still say I got the same problem with Mike. He don't control the things he can control. Poor play calling. Like you said, he doesn't put the situational football is what you're talking about. He's terrible at situational football. I just think they need to do something else. Wilson Santiago said, no way they win it all. Man, I'm telling you, Wilson, I got a strange feeling. Alex said, he said we need tougher journalists like her to ask Jerry Jones these uncomfortable questions. Put that pressure, boy. She doing it, boy. She's speaking for the fans, man. She is. He said he needs a course in general management, or maybe he thinks general management means getting money. I haven't heard that with Nisi, but I think GM means get money for Jerry. I think it does mean get money for Jerry. That's all I can tell you. You hit that right on the head. I think it means get money for Jerry. I do. Wilson said, I go into gambling when I get what I got better at Monopoly. He said, laughing my butt off. He said, always playing for Boardwalk. Man, you too. Man, me and my sons be playing Monopoly, boy. I can't wait. That's all I'm playing for is Boardwalk and Park Place. That's all I'm playing for. That's it. That's all I'm playing for. Kevin says, if Jerry was a GM on any other NFL team, oh, man. Jerry would have been ran out the league, Kelvin. Jerry would be ran out the league. He wouldn't even be coaching no more. I mean, he wouldn't even be GM no more. Jerry would be a TV personality. There is no team that would hire Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones paying players chips and dips. That's what he would do if he could. That's why this man got to be stopped. Terry said, y'all like Jerry don't have 3 Lombardi trophies. Better act like you know. Yeah, but you know what's so crazy, Terrence? But the way he got the trophies, he won't do it again. The way he got the trophies. He had the highest paid coaches. If I'm not mistaken, Jerry brought Jimmy Johnson in the league, no NFL experience, and put his salary right behind the great Bill Walsh. Let that sink in. What do you think his assistants were getting paid? Jerry don't do that no more. Jerry wheeled and deal in free agency. Don't do that no more. Jerry wheeled and deal in trading. Don't do that no more. Jerry was always on the lookout for the best players that could improve his team. Don't do that no more. Jerry empowered Jimmy Johnson. He definitely don't do that no more. Jerry took care of the office business. He let Jimmy take care of the football business. He don't do it no more. So that's the funny part, Terrence. The way he got the Lombardi. It's like other teams are following his blueprint, but he won't follow his own. And I think this is one of the problems you're mentioning, though, too, Terrence. This is why, if you notice, whenever he talks, I haven't heard Jerry do this as much in past years as I've heard him do it this year. Always talking about the glory days. Always talking about when Jimmy and Barry and the 90s and what he did when he bought the team. I mean, you hear this more than, it's like crazy with Jerry. He doesn't understand it. Nisi said, this is it. You're saying the same thing. This is not the 90s scary Jerry. 90 Scary, Jerry on doing the free agency. Yep, we will get a 40-year-old free agent. Oh man. Well, I tell you this. I'm thankful that I think Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to retire. But let me tell you something. Let me just preface this. Please don't let this happen, God. Neezy, you said something that's funny. You know what's crazy? If Dak Prescott went down next year and Aaron Rodgers is on the couch, I would not be shocked if Jerry bought Aaron Rodgers in. I would not be shocked. I don't care who the backup is. Jerry, if Aaron Rodgers is on the couch, I believe he'd bring in Aaron Rodgers. I do. I believe he'd bring him in. Freddie said, and all those teams except for Detroit and KC or Buffalo will lose all those chips. Watch. But you know what? That's the name of the game. Now, that part is the name of the game. But I'll tell you this. I'd rather go down swinging. I'd rather go down with players than none. Deuce Falco, that's why I appreciate the Rams coaching staff. Yes, I'm telling you. And you definitely can't build a dynasty shopping for free agents at the dollar store. No doubt, bro. No doubt. Hey, G, appreciate you. Great show, bro. Do you think finally Jerry will be all in 2025? I think it's 2026. AG, I think it's 2026. I think 2025 is going to be the beginning. And the funny part is, it has no choice but to be the beginning. It actually has no choice but to be the beginning. Let me bring this up here before I get out of here. I got some more subjects, but I'll bring those up tomorrow. More and more Cowboy coverage. I'm going to be just as much as I can. So, the Landry report, Luke Norris, the Landry hat, has the full list of Dallas Cowboys free agents this offseason. The Cowboys are set to see more than 20 players become unrestricted free agents. See, this team doesn't have no choice but to change. It doesn't have any choice but to change, y'all. No choice. 20 players. With their disappointing 2024 campaign, now a thing of the past, the Dallas Cowboys will look ahead to the 2025 NFL offseason, one which will see more than 20 members of America's team become unrestricted. That's not counting the restricted. Unrestricted free agents, a list that includes several high-profile players. Arguably, the biggest name on the list is future Hall of Famer Zach Martin. Although it's fair to wonder if the 9-time Pro Bowl guard will opt for retirement after undergoing season-ending ankle surgery. He's not retiring. He's not retiring. I don't believe it. Joining Martin on the list is his 2014 draft mate, DeMarcus Lawrence. He's not retiring. He had a Lenz Frank injury. Beyond these two veterans, several key contributors to this Cowboys team on both sides of the football are set to hit the open market. In addition to Lawrence, the list of defensive players includes linebacker Eric Kendricks, cornerback Jordan Lewis, tackle Osa Odigizua. I think he's played himself out of a job here. And edge rushers Chauncey Golston and Carl Lawson. It says on offense, the biggest name might now be, Rico Dowdle, who had a phenomenal finish to the season, to which the 1,000-yard mark for the first time in his career, which Jerry Jones and the rest of the Cowboys front office will certainly have to take into account when figuring out what to do at running back this offseason. Joining Dowdle on the offensive portion of the list are wide receivers Brandon Cooks and quarterbacks Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. Wide out and kick return specialist Kevontae Turpin is on the list, but is a restricted free agent, so he can be tendered at $5.2 million and retained if the Cowboys choose to do so. But that's one of the just many decisions the Joneses will have to make once free agency begins. I'm telling you, it is going to be crazy. Look at this list. And we're going to hit this list again tomorrow. I want to talk about it a little bit more in depth tomorrow. But I looked at this list. I just kind of glanced at it. And just glancing at this list, Zach Martin, gone. It was in the plans. It was already in the plans not to re-sign Zach Martin. DeMarcus Lawrence, gone. Brandon Cooks, gone. Trey Lance, probably gone. Brian Anger, 37, punter, gone. Unless no one wants him, the Cowboys may bring him back on the cheap. Eric Kendricks, gone. Jordan Lewis, the Cowboys better really start understanding Jordan Lewis is going to command some money on this market. Jordan Lewis is one of the best slot receivers in the league. And the Cowboys have been toying with him for the last couple of years. This dude about to get paid. I will not be surprised if Jordan Lewis is gone, but I think they need to pay Jordan Lewis. Linval Joseph, definitely gone. He's 37. Cooper Rush, there are rumors Sam Darnold would be let go by the Minnesota Vikings, and they're saying that Cooper Rush could be brought in to be the mentor and the backup to one J.J. McCarthy. I think that Cooper Rush is probably going to be gone. C.J. Goodwin, cornerback, definitely gone. Edoga, left tackle, not sure. May keep him depending upon the price. Trent Sieg, long snapper, they'll probably re-sign him. That's not a big-time contract. I think that Osa Odigizua, there's going to be a good chance he's going to be gone. Running back Rico Dowdle, I have a feeling that Rico Dowdle is going to command some money in this league. He is probably going to be gone. Chauncey Golston, not sure, but the Dallas Cowboys, they just don't seem to want to pay these edge rushers. Nick Vigil, probably gone. Amani, gone. Will Greer, gone. Darius Harris, not sure. I don't even know who he is. I hadn't seen him play. At least I don't think I have. Carlos Watkins, probably gone. Carl Lawson, gone. They're going to keep Hoffman. Israel, the safety. I've been hearing people talk about him, possibly keep him. I think they need to keep Marquise Bell if the injury thing is okay. Marquise Bell has been underutilized by this team. Marquise Bell has been underutilized by this team. And if the Cowboys let him go, I guarantee you he'll go somewhere else and he'll shine. Kevontae Turpin, I just want to see what someone's going to pay him because I'm telling y'all, I think some team is going to offer him some money. I think a team is going to offer Kevontae Turpin some money. I do. Tyrus Wheat, edge, 26. Probably keep him. Wanye Thomas, he's 25. They may keep him. Y'all, get ready. This team is going to look different next year. This team going to look different next year. I want to run through this list again tomorrow. I want to get you guys input on some of the players who you think they're going to keep. But this team is going to look different next year, man. It is. It is going to look so different. It's going to blow our minds. It is. And the problem is a lot of this stuff is going to look different. The question is, do we have the coach and the coaching staff that can really develop this team coming up next year? Man, we're going to be filling in gaps on this team from from the draft. We got 10 picks in the draft. At this rate, Jerry may have to use all of them, which I hope he doesn't. I hope he takes some of those picks and trade back up into the fourth round. I hope they get, because I got a feeling that Rico Dowdle, they may see him as being priced out of their range. And I've already said, I think the Cowboys need to get 2 running backs. I think they need to get one of those running backs in the fourth. One of those running backs either in the first or the second. And they need to get the other running back in the fourth or the fifth. They don't have a fourth, so maybe they can trade back up and get a running back in the fourth, and they either take a wide receiver in the first or the second, and then in the third, you can go defense, cornerback, and then in the ones after that, you can start dealing with your line, because it seems like the later rounds is where they've really found some diamonds on the line. You can go fill in some gaps in there, and then I think they're going to have to be free agent players. I think they're going to have to be. There's no other way to get around it. They're going to have to be. Gwen Scott said Jay Slater, she punked him. Yeah, she punked him. She's serious with them questions, man. And he's trying to be so clever on them answers, it's not working. Spider-Man. Woo, man, did you see Marcellus Wiley do what? Marcellus Wiley gave me a shout out? Get out of town. Get out of town, Spider-Man.